Hello everyone, and welcome back to D&D with WhatTeamComp. I am your host of Cormundum Chaos, the Uncommon Guru. Back again, once again, with some more, I'd say, action in the country of Cormundum. We have, once again, back at it again, Zarkwarts, who is playing the human paladin Aurelius.
What's up, guys? Welcome to my Let's Play series on being a paladin.
Skip. No.
Skip. We have Mary, who's playing Genevieve, aka Fidget, the human fighter.
Hello.
For now.
For now.
We have Paris, who is playing the wonderful, beautiful Azmar Serenity, who is a barbarian. She is
not gonna respond.
You say it like that
to make you laugh, obviously.
It worked.
You said things, and I was like, I'm going to make you laugh when I give your introduction. You just wait. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to do it.
This is why this group is good for the soul.
And we have Kendall.
Hey, you guys have souls?
Hey. And we have Kendall, who is playing Artemis, the half-elf artificer wizard.
Hello.
And we are back at it again. Once again.
If I have to hear you say back at it again one more time, I'm gonna commit a war crime.
Which one?
Yeah.
I'm feeling gas warfare.
No. He's gonna pass the gas. Anyways, we are once more in the coastal town of Wavebreak on the final day of the trial of endurance for Fidget in the group that she has been part of, known as the Collective, to clear her name of a crime that she did, but not for necessarily the reasons that were accused of. During the first few days, they followed pretty straightforward instructions to get from point A to point B, but now it is the hold the line, defend the fortress, call it what you will. It is last till sundown, and we, after just having our dawn battle, have come to a interesting revelation, which is that among the collective members who are currently beginning to attempt to come inside the warehouse that you are defending, there are unwanted, I would not in any light call them guests. They are enemies without a doubt of cultists who are attempting to cause issues, just as one of the members who was supposed to be helping you apparently had something happen and had to abscond away after making the very poor choice of fucking around and finding out what it's like to fight Fidget one-on-one with a barbarian nearby. And so we do you want me to bring you back to the map where you guys were? Just for visual, or?
It might be a good idea because Artie had wanted to look at the bodies anyways.
Yep.
Yes.
I believe it was 4?
Why'd you say it like
Two.
that?
No.
No.
It's
1.
2. 1, 2, 4,
1.
whatever.
I knew where I was. See, I'm correct. That's what matters.
6-9, the Goose Strike wine.
All right.
I can't sing that full song.
I don't know that song, I don't think. Anyways.
I'll teach it to you after session.
Son of a bitch.
Oh.
So, you have the cultist bodies and the enemies who you had been all too ready to fight, or were ready to fight you before, seem to have, those who didn't leave have kind of stood down and are looking at the bodies just in confusion. The rest of them left.
Are there chairs at the tables?
Yeah.
Fidget is just gonna move and sit down with her head on the table.
Makes sense.
He's trying to resist the almost uncontrollable urge to just start axing the bodies.
That's a fair thought.
Artemis is stepping closer to the bodies to get a better look at them.
Gotcha.
Aurelius will probably do some religion checks.
Okay. That'll be part of this. So let's start with Artie, obviously, since Artie spoke up first about this. Are you trying to just look and see if they have anything? Look at their bodies to determine more information?
I'm trying to figure out what exactly they are and what. They all concern me. I just want to get a better look.
Gotcha. I'll say an investigation check for your first roll. And Zark, you said you were trying to get more information through a religion check?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll a religion check.
Because Aurelius is putting pieces together in his head. Hold
18.
on.
18. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Rifling through their pockets. Actually, I need to pull up something real quick. Whoop. Sorry if you hear rapid typing.
Mm-hmm.
Oop. Give me this. Looking them over, you see that they have in a pouch on their side would appear to be finger bones in dirt, as well as a little sigil that's like placed atop of it. And as you're kind of looking over their face, you can actually see that these bugbear, their faces are very gaunt. Not like they're...
Does it look similar to that bugbear we ran into before that turned into a demon?
No. Yes and no, actually. No, in the fact that the one who was having their form shift grew horns. They're looking more like they're gaunt. Like they're almost like they were killed. You know that they were killed maybe 2 to 5 minutes ago at most at this point. They're beginning to decay. Like they're showing symptoms of basically just being dead, having been dead for a while. You recognize this offhand, but it's not one that you where you grew up. This was not one that would have come up much at all, so you're not immediately aware of it. Aurelius, with your religion check, I imagine you're looking them over and kind of just gently peeking over the shirt to kind of shoulder to get a look at this yourself. Or are you just standing back, just observing? So are you over the shoulder?
He's definitely walked up and like crouched down to give it a gaze.
Okay. Looking over the shoulder and seeing the symbol, the bones, and such, you recall that there is a figure in the abyss who would match what all of these to you add up to. The dirt could be from anywhere, but with the bones in it and the symbol, you would presume that it's probably grave dirt. and the symptoms of their rapid imagery of death likely has some kind of affiliation or coinciding with Orcus.
Mm-hmm.
Orcus, who is known as the Master of Undeath. I'll even give you this one as part of this as well because of your background and your backstory. Serenity is the reason they didn't get back up.
Mm-hmm.
As when you entered, she was illuminated in light and dealing radiant damage, which would have immediately killed them and prevented them from rising again.
Would Aurelius be able to determine any connection between the multiple cults that have been after us at this point?
I'd say offhand it would be speculations that you can make.
Okay. So he doesn't have any defining evidence at the moment, just
nothing
theories.
defining theories. Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing that you note is it isn't that they're bugbears. That's not the trait to focus on. As you're looking them over, the symbol itself, that's not one you're familiar with. It gives you the impression of the goat skull looking imagery that Orcus has, but it's not a symbol you're familiar with. But the fact that Artemis at the very least is familiar with the kind of the way the symbol is presented.
Mm-hmm.
Main thing that these all have in common would be Denziel.
Yep. Uncomfortable.
Yeah, so these are the exact order and the exact words that Aurelius says. Under his breath, he starts with Orcus. He slowly turns up and looks to Serenity. You were lucky. You were glowing.
You want to be more specific than that?
If you were not, they would be standing again.
Great, so use radiant bullshit to deal with these fuckers. No.
Yes. It's... Well, it's more than I could be doing. He kind of looks himself up and down. I don't really have anything radiant at the moment.
Unfortunately, I do that once a day.
Perhaps unfortunate, but fortunate that we have anything radiant at all.
Wait, Don, is it once a day or once every long rest? Because that is specific enough that it might matter.
Good question. Not that one. I'm pulling it up. Don't worry. I'll just take a moment. Long
Please hold.
rest.
Addendum then, basically saying I can only do that every couple of hours if I rest between it.
It would be a long rest, not just a I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to lay down right
No,
here.
I know, it's like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Roughly.
It is still something.
Long rests between them. She just makes a noise. It's like the fair enough noise.
But it does mean that at some point we're going to need to find a holy blade. You know, besides any gestures to the moon touch sword.
I was actually gonna bring that up. Anyone else have a weird voice pop up in their head?
Yes.
No.
Good.
Tank says from behind you, just raise the hand.
Not more than usual. Fidget lifts her head, finally showing Serenity just how bad she is. You know, the usual for me.
So,
You-
real realize that Serenity doesn't fully know what happened.
Yeah.
So she looks at him or at her. Who?
Silver. If you're talking about the injury, Silver.
He's gone
deep
now.
Breath.
He's not here.
He disappeared into the ground. After
Fine.
wailed
I'm
on him.
calm. I'm calm. I'm perfectly calm.
And before
He's
you
not calm.
before you say anything, already helped make it so that I'm still useful.
You.
No. That's not my worry. She just growls. It's the best way she can describe it.
I gave as good as he did, and she's like, but we might have a little bit of a problem. And she pulls out her sword to show the neurotic red that it is.
John, is mine glowing?
I'm gonna do an Arcana check with my background in mind.
Sure. Looking at yours, you note that it's like something. It's interesting because Fidget's is it's not like a resplendent glow fills the room. It's a faint mist glow around the edge of the blade, where you can see it. It's not like it's lighting up the room.
And she'll start laughing, but it's also like the tired, slightly going crazy laugh that sometimes happens to some people if you go a little bit being exhausted. She's like, so my blood didn't go on the floor, it went onto the sword.
Did it help?
It's fine.
I hurt him more than I usually would have.
If it helps, then do not fight it.
Somebody might have offered me help and I took it.
Then take it. We need all the help we can get at the moment.
I had something
You did?
similar, so at least you know you're not crazy. Yeah, they asked me a very insightful question.
Oh, see, I know where mine came from. My voice came from, though. I know exactly where my voice came from.
I have no idea where mine came from. It's not the usual tug of voice that I hear. Either of them.
Yeah, the voice in my head was louder than the normal whispers.
Tank looks to you with this look. It just kind of has this. Wait.
Tank, I have a demon in my head, and I'm also of celestial descent.
Open and close his mouth slowly.
I died in the abyss and was resurrected in the abyss.
Slowly.
I'm hungry. Do we have any food?
Tank, as soon as you ask that, Tank slowly reaches into he's got a fanny pack on the back of his belt, and he reaches in and just pulls out a little bag, and he just kind of offers it to you. If you open it up, it's dried apples.
I'm is it trail mix?
Iris is just gonna eat while y'all are opening up about the voices in your head. She's not gonna say a damn thing.
Y'all need to know about that.
I love you so much.
Mind you, the more I consider it, and he pulls out his sword, my sword didn't look like this before either.
Real pull out hers. Honestly, I stopped paying attention. This doesn't look normal, does it?
Define normal.
You know, fair enough.
Artemis will offer Fidget a slice of dried apple.
She'll get up and move over to the group and take it.
Resume eating.
He kind of does that mousy nibble of it.
Mm-hmm.
Aurelius returns the greatsword to his back, and he's gonna walk up to. I assume everyone in the group is nearby at this point, right?
Yeah, the others are here as well. Ember and Razor and such. Not
Look at your
Silvertongue,
girlfriend.
of course.
Yeah. So what Aurelius will then say is, okay, considering exactly what happened, we're probably going to need to block up the windows with something. And he looks towards the tables. Those will do. If my partner's yelling at me, give me a second.
All right.
She demands affection.
No, we're playing D&D. Only D&D.
No.
If she wants affection, she needs to join us.
To be
Don't
fair,
do
mine
that.
comes in and just randomly taps me. Just look over, my dog's got her face pressed on the door because she can't open it. I'm sorry, you don't have thumbs.
Mother, I am trapped in here. I love you, but I desire freedom.
She's the one who makes a fuss about getting in. Shit!
But I desire freedom.
Her brother's asleep in the chair. Jaden is gone. Like, if I poke him, I don't think he'll stir.
He had somewhere to be. You poke him?
Yeah.
But he's a...
While
he's
we're
a...
waiting for
Yeah.
Zark,
My
is gonna go
okay.
back over here.
Hey.
My partner got a medieval plague doctor poster that says "Wash your hands."
Nice.
Alright, understandable why she's screaming for you.
Yeah. Yeah, she got it for my birthday, so
Nice.
Oh, when's your birthday?
I'm not telling you shit.
Tomorrow.
Tell
No.
me. It's tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
No.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I only remember because of
Now
the
the whole
holiday.
internet works. Now the internet knows.
Now all of the internet knows you're here.
No.
So, as you're like kind of saying all that, Razor kind of like looks around for a second, looks at you, like kind of pauses and looks at you and just kind of squints and just like, why don't you take a seat yourself just for a moment?
Do you want them to swing through the windows again?
Sit.
I would rather.
I'll
Okay.
get to work. I didn't take as much damage as either of you.
You do that. Tank, help her out. Before we cover up the windows, we should use this point of vantage to see if we can see anything else. You take 2 minutes sitting down, then check the other room to see if you can see anyone else moving.
You make a good point.
Wait, okay, so just so I
Yep.
make sure I have this right. This is Velinor speaking, or is this someone else?
No, this is
Razor.
Razor.
Razor,
Yeah.
okay. I was about to say, I'm like, why is Velinor suddenly taking charge? What the fuck?
No. I said Razor.
Okay, that
Velinor
makes
is-
a lot more sense.
Velinor is
Velinor's still
downstairs.
downstairs.
Yes, and apparently he is still surrounded by animals. And as you're moving, you do hear a very muffled.
Oh, that's right. The quacking duck. The quacking cow.
I'll look
Right.
at Razor and then look at the door. Can I sate my curiosity first?
No. You'll have time.
What does what is Razor holding at the moment?
He's holding his weapon. He's
Yeah,
still-
which weapon?
I'm pulling it up.
There's more laughing at the noise you made.
Don't look at me. It's just taking. a
You
moment to
realize
look up.
whenever you say that, we always look at
Look
you.
at you.
Stop.
I'm gonna look into your very soul.
My soul. I need that. A rapier.
You're not taking it!
A rapier.
Yeah, and it's just like he's sheathed it, and it's at his side, but he's just kind of like has his hand rested on it.
Aurelius is gonna like stop him in his place and hand him his spear. Use this as a leverage to hold them up for whenever you're. Anyway, and he just sits back down
Sit.
again.
yeah, like as you were doing that, he takes it and it just says sit.
Anyone got a hammer and nails, or am I just gonna press this up on the window, because I don't think that'll be effective.
Look, I'm pretty sure with enough willpower, you could like slam your forehead against the nail.
You hear Ember go, I got it! Just you see her run out the door, you just see her just jump over the banister, just whoop! You hear a boom!
I envy her energy.
She is so cool. Aurelia says quietly.
Elias.
Fidget starts giggling from her seat, but it's unsure if it's just because of lack of blood or because he's Aurelius.
He's smiling.
Artemis, look up. Can I get a bottle of water?
Yes, water, please.
Can we get several bottles of water?
Razor
Water.
kind
Where are they?
and
I can go get
food.
one. And she's just gonna start getting up again.
But
Can you grab me one?
go down the stairs.
Also-
There should be some people who can help. There's buckets that they're refilling water skins in. You should be able to get
Okay.
with you.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I'll
check-
make sure to grab 5.
Do you need help, Artie?
Check-
She kind of looks at her bag and pats it. I'm fine. I didn't get hurt. You stay here. I'll
Check-
bring you back some. What?
Check on Maxim and Velinor and see if Velinor has any excess food, because I imagine he's the type of person to.
I will send them back this way with their
Yes,
horde.
please.
They're
The-
bored.
the horde may be less necessary unless we can use them for food. Aurelius is
Oh.
waiting for people to look at him weirdly.
Oh yeah, no. Razor just looks at you. He doesn't look at you weird. He just gives you this flat room. He's just like, I thought I told you to sit down and relax for 2
I
minutes.
am sitting down.
But you're still giving out orders.
I'm not.
5 minutes.
I'm very anxious. I'm sorry.
I understand you're anxious. We've got
Sorry, does
this
a whole, like-
in hand. You know?
Okay.
Just fucking breathe.
So he does the whole like bully from Simpsons. Pointed laugh.
You're in trouble. Why is it so funny to me?
God.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
You broke both of them. I'm going on mute. I'm laughing too loud.
That's
Since I've killed 2 people.
that perfectly embodies this group. They will fight by each other, bleed with each other, but the moment one of them gets like manhandled a little bit, they point at each other and go, love it.
As Aurelius looks over to Razor, he just kind of says, "Hey, thank you."
Gives a nod. Tank, Serenity, just put the doors against the window for the moment. Ember will be back.
Doors. Wait.
Not the
Tables.
tables.
Okay. I'm like, look, I
Look.
understand Tank and I are destructive, but we don't need to be ripping off doors here.
It'd make for faster entryway from point A to point B, but we don't need that.
I mean, they definitely could do it. It'd be funny to watch.
It'd be funny,
Aurelius,
but unnecessary.
Breathe, please.
All
I'm
I can think is that vendor
just-
thing. You can't bend the door, it's wood. I know that, and you know that, but that door looks pretty stupid.
You can tell that Aurelius is having a difficult time staying still.
Mm-hmm.
Darling,
It's
sit. I'm using the womanly wiles on you.
If you need to, ask Ember. I'm sure she'll help.
Certainly just sticks her tongue. It's like sticking the tongue out more in the concentration and idea.
Aurelius looks over to Fidget and tilts his head. What does that mean?
It means you're interested in Ember and you don't even know it.
Basically.
What the fuck are
You
you
got it
talking
bad,
about?
Aurelius.
What do you mean?
Do you know what a crush is?
He's so cool.
All I can
Well,
think
she just
is-
fucking did a kickflip over the thing. What do you like? That shit's cool. I can't do that.
As
Methinks
he's
thou dost protest too much, my kind sir.
He thinks he's blind, deaf, and dumb.
How do you even understand what any of those words mean?
I'm not as dumb as you think I am.
We've explained them to her so that if anyone tries to be condescending, she can smile, tell them that she knows what it means, and then kick them in the groin.
Be
You know
glad you're
what?
on the other side of the room.
That is smart.
Be glad you're over there, Aurelius, because you're sitting down, and it's just a stomp.
Yeah, well, listen.
Are you wearing a codpiece?
I don't know.
While this is going on, Tank gently taps Serenity and kind of motions to the table. There seems to be a thoughtfulness to him, a distant thoughtfulness. He's halfway trying to get you to get the table, and halfway trying to kind of pull you towards the window away from everyone else for a moment.
Nod.
He actually will kind of lead you off into the next room, because there's other windows that were broken there. They need to be at least propped up and such.
I'm gonna use my
Lay on hands.
Does anyone else need healing while I'm thinking about it nearby?
I'm still pretty bloody.
All right. I'll. How many hit points do you need?
I'm at 60 out of 81.
All right. I'm just gonna give you all 35 of my lay.
I only need 21.
There you go.
Oh.
Numbers.
Okay. I didn't math well. That's fine.
Yeah,
So
I'll take-
35 take 21. That's.
14.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fast math.
D&D has helped me with simple math.
Yes.
Not numbers, letters in front of me, then we're all fucked.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you're full health now.
Thank
And then,
you.
is there anyone else around that's...
I do not believe so. At least
All
not
right,
in the room. But while
I'll
you're,
put the rest on myself then.
Yeah, while you're doing a little bit of healing with yourself and with Fidget, Tank is moving the table with Serenity, and again he has that thoughtfulness. And as he puts up, I'd say about the third table, he kind of leans it against the window. He just kind of holds there for a second before looking at you. Serenity.
Yes.
She
looks up.
You care for Artemis deeply, yes?
Yes. Her eyebrows a little bit arched, where the fuck are you going with this?
And you desire her to be safe, yes?
Yes.
But when offered help, you told me no. Is that love?
Love comes in many forms.
But
I knew that if eventually they took me down, you would be in the doorway to stop them.
But if I helped, I could have prevented you from going down. You didn't. Is not the point. He looks a little bit frustrated, clearly trying to process something, struggling with it before he kind of just crosses his arms and leans against the table. You
Take his time.
did because love?
I don't think that was an act of love.
What was then?
I have bad tendencies sometimes when I get particularly angry. And I usually have the concern that I will not always be able to tell friend from foe.
Oh, you he looks away, very ashamed, like Velinor.
She looks curious.
Me. and Valinor.
I suppose so.
Did he not? No, you were there. You heard.
I was taught to take those measures to avoid friendly fire. I'd rather let others think I'm a mindless beast who simply wants to fight to herself than to hurt someone.
But doing as a form of love, of care for Artemis.
I suppose me getting angry was due to that, yes. Why are you so curious of Valinor? Not Valinor. Tank, brain, fried, orc.
Unfry that egg.
It's too late.
You are not sure?
I know I love Artemis. I have never been this aggressive before when it comes down to something like this. It's odd. It's not pleasant. It's just odd.
Is unhelpful.
There's that too.
No. Also feeling overwhelming rage. Me, not just you, me too, but not I. Kind of like looks away again. This time there's a embarrassment, a frustration, and a confusion to his body posture.
Do you mind if I take a bit of a shot in the dark with something?
You may miss, but you can try.
Are you feeling that way regarding Fidget and Silvertongue?
Yes.
So what was that about missing? She smirks.
I said you could miss. I did not say you would. Sorry, I said could miss, not would.
You have feelings for Fidget, don't you?
Of course. Yeah, best friend. First
Romantic
in...
feelings, Tank.
I do not understand. Romantic?
Taps her. She taps her chin. You know how Artemis and I are? The affection, the love, that sort of thing.
Love? But is best friend, long-time friend, is very good friend.
Can I insight this?
Yes, you may.
My God. Oh my God.
This language barrier is killing me. Who the fuck is fucking revving their car outside my window?
I can't hear him.
Where the fuck is it? There it is. Oh no, that's the 7th. Oh no, shit.
He has the same body posture that he had before. Nothing has shifted about that.
Oh. There's not romantic feelings. What's to be confused about? Oh, come on. We've stopped at cart together. Why are you suddenly so shy now? She's smiling.
Because thought I would not feel this way again. For Fidget. Thought that years apart meant it would go away. Because, well, gone.
There's a saying, I think it's distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Very strange.
But not untrue. My only advice is to discuss this with her.
Maybe.
You're just gonna sit and fester with them if you don't, and then you're gonna regret it once she leaves.
Fester. Let it burn me from inside. Yes, good. Just clapping his hands, so yeah, I'll do that. Good, that's a good idea. Thank you for that idea.
Festering is not a yeah. It is not automatically on a phone
I'm
on
joking.
call.
Yeah.
I am joking.
Bring, bring. Hello, your entire life story is being presented for everyone. No,
I'm joking.
I'm aware. They're not on, but he's like, yeah, no, yes, agree. Let it fester. Good.
That's not healthy, Tank.
Healthy? No, but helpful.
No, it's not helpful either. Trust me. Believe me. It's not as helpful as you think.
I'm not thinking. This is good.
He flicks his forehead.
Rude.
So is you hiding feelings.
No, it will not hurt her.
How do you know it will hurt her?
Because it's me. And you understand overwhelming rage.
So does she. Not to our degree.
I have killed someone while in my rage that I did not mean to. I would not wish that upon her, ever. No more than you for Artemis.
Tank.
Hmm.
When I say you don't know nearly as much about me as you think, I do mean it.
Okay, but I'm bringing up because you said.
She
You
does look
said.
angry. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of blood on my hands is staggering. But Artemis doesn't. And Fidget won't either. You have more control than you think. Much more control than you did years ago.
Yeah. He makes a wishy-washy with his hands. Like,
If you let the past haunt you for the rest of your life, it will eventually come back to hurt you.
Is
You
problem.
and everyone you know.
Is the problem, yes.
So then, wouldn't she deserve to know? What if she finds out after you're long gone?
Who would tell? Squints at you, accusatorially.
There are ways people can find out.
Squints harder at you, to the point you can almost not see his eyes.
He's smiling. Would you rather she know after you die? And feel upset that she couldn't have acted on it or told you anything? Or would you rather she know and you two work around it however you decide to work around it? Hiding feelings hurts more than you think.
She deserves better.
What if you're the better she thinks she deserves?
Kind of shakes his head slowly, like, no.
Also, don't you think she should have a say in who she wants to know? In any regard of a relationship? Rather than making that decision for her? very upset when we her and how we needed to go about this, and she gestures to like everything. You're taking her decision away from her as well.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh boy. Yeah, I didn't think so. You know what? Fuck it. I'll use my inspiration. Why the fuck not?
Okay.
Watch it be just as bad. Or not.
We'll think.
Okay. All I can do is offer advice. Because you're saying stuff really similar to another person.
Yeah.
So, you know how she's with Maxim, yes?
And he deflates.
I'm
Visibly.
pretty sure she's polyamorous.
The
Do you know
deflation
what
does
that
not.
word means?
Too many. No.
Go on. You've shared so much already. Why are you holding back?
As he's getting ready to say something, you hear a "Hello, I've brought you nails and hammers." And just a box of nails, just ching ching. As you see, it's held through the door as Ember peeks in. I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
She points to Tank. We'll finish this talk later. You are not free.
I'm free now. Waves the
Now.
hand over, and Ember puts it's like a tool, like the tool box, but it's only filled with nails. It's not like, the thin nails we have. No, these are like the 4-point nails where they were hammered into a like flat sort of nail.
Oh.
Yeah.
Amber, where's the hammer?
Pulls out 2 hammers from her belt. Here you go.
Okay.
What, you thought I was just going to come up here and expect you to push them in with your thumb? It'd have been really cool to see that, but I'm not crazy.
One, I want to try that. 2, earlier said to use my forehead.
Can you do that?
I want to try it, but at the same time, I don't want a headache.
I mean, a headache would be kind of bad. Okay, while you're doing that, give me a little peeksy. Just slides over and peeks out the window as best as she can, and kind of leans back. Wow, you guys did a really good job of boarding this up. I mean, just kind of squats down, crawls under the table, peeks up again. See if she sees.
She just
anything.
looks down at where Ember is and looks up at Tank like, what the fuck?
I don't want to get shot. Do you want to get shot? Yeah. And she, slowly reaches up, pulls out an arrow. Clearly is making a rude gesture to whoever shot it.
Don't force me to answer that question, Ember. You won't like the answer that I give you.
What, do you think I'm crazy or something? Don't
See
answer that.
previous statement.
Don't answer that. You're going to make me upset at the answer you give me. How dare you make me upset at the fact... I thought we were getting to be friends. And you think
You
so
asked if
little?
I wanted to get shot.
Oh, yeah, no. Obviously the answer is no.
Certainly smiles at her.
Yes?
I am a masochist.
Kind of stares at you for a second. Leans over and pinches your arm.
That does nothing.
I mean, yeah, but feels fun to do. Kind of skips away. just, a masochist. Walks over. And then walks away.
She shakes her head. If you want to sleep with me, you have to be more forthcoming than that.
To Ember?
Yeah. And she starts to fucking get to work on the table.
She stops at the door and is like, "Girl, you've got all the booty another girl could ask for, but at the same time, not right now. We're in the middle of something. And besides, I've got to keep my cool. I gotta look cool for people, you know? Otherwise, I'll just look silly. I don't want to look
Is it a certain paladin?
Who?
Ow. Long hair, roguish charm.
A lot more specific. You're talking about a lot of people here.
The one sitting in the other room.
Razor? Razor's not my type.
No. No. Aurelius.
He's a paladin? Oh no, that's why they're calling him Sheep. Oh, I get it now. She walks away.
Oh, what?
Doesn't answer your question, just walks away.
Puts her face in her fucking hands!
By the way, you only hear that last bit for the people in the other room. You just hear, oh, that's why they're saying that. That's all you hear.
Yeah, Artemis is going to come back to the room with Velinor,
He has
Maxim in tow.
He's giving you more snacks.
She's bringing them back with her in person. But she does have like a bundle of snacks and water skins just like in her arms.
Her cow following him.
Yeah, she basically just told both of them, I need both of you to come with me, and gave no reason.
Maxim looks the least confused by this. Velinor is very confused and is just like, okay. And as he like gets up there, you hear a distinct cluck, 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 cluck. As you glance back, you see that one of the cows has followed him up the stairs, and just as it gets there, he kind of peeks his head into the room, just moo.
Sterling just immediately leaves what she's doing.
You peek into the other room, and you see a cow poking his head in, looks over to you. Just looks at you for a second, then just goes,
What kind of noise did that thing just make?
slowly backs out of the room.
She immediately moves to it.
You just hear Tank in the other room just, yeah.
Artemis goes and finds Fidget and hands her a water skin and another dried apple.
Yeah, she's sitting on the floor with kind of that 1,000-yard stare on her face as she takes it.
Aurelius is close by, but not too close by. Like, he's given her space.
Yeah, everything has finally fully sunken in to her with what had just happened, and there's that obvious slight shake of trauma.
And I lead the cow to Fidget.
Yeah. You don't even need to make an animal handling check, just because as you're doing it, Velinor realizes what you're doing, and it's like, oh, and he just gently has you assisted.
Fidget, 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 Fidget.
It takes a second, but she kind of snaps out of her long stare and looks up at you.
Look.
Ow!
You
mentioned you were a farm girl. Get it? Look,
She stands up. Yeah, she stands up, finally. But this is the first time Maxim and Velinor are seeing just how bad off. Even though she's fully healed, there's still the obvious blood on her. The cow. It's a cow.
Kind of like moves forward and just kind of like, it doesn't like headbutt you per se, just kind of like shoves its head into your lap and just leaves it there.
Take after Velinor. Kind of gives it a pet.
He holds up a finger like he's about to protest, and then he kind of like makes a motion like, I mean...
Are you saying you wouldn't like to be in a nice woman's lap?
Pauses and slowly looks to you with this look like
Dirty
just
smiles.
just a squint of just, excuse you? I mean, yeah, but excuse you?
big they were.
It's been years. Even before I left Corvin, since I've seen one.
Just kind of like gently like nuzzles closer.
And she stands, finally just fully stands, the snack and water skin dropping from her hands. I'm gonna be sick. And she runs from the room to find somewhere to throw up.
Not too far away, yeah.
Serenity will kind of tap the cow's head to get it to stay there and fall after.
Yeah, Fidget is just the closest area that she can to throw up is knelt down and being very sick.
She just rubs her back. There, let it all out.
After a moment, she kind of just sits down on the ground. He's never actually physically done anything before.
It's okay. He's gone. You're safe.
But we don't know where he went, and he might come back, and he might try again.
And if he comes back, both Tank and I will rip him apart.
Tank
Hell, you might end up ripping him apart.
But yeah, Tank actually took the table in the room and bashed him upside the head with it. It was quite something.
She's like the face of, I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't.
Well, this is after he grabbed him and then threw him over his head and slammed him onto the ground. I mean, I've seen Tank fight before, so it's nothing too out of the norm. But
I think he might have been particularly angry at Silver Tongue then.
Nobody's really like Silver Tongue. We just kind of had to work with him. Even though I was blinded by being young and the first person to show that kind of interest in me.
You and I are way more alike than we need to be. Just smiling.
Isn't that what we're kind of finding out with all of this? That we're basically the same people, just all in different forms?
Different flavors?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you have to say it like that? Aurelius says, halfway through eating something.
Where the fuck did you come from?
Yeah,
they left the room.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Yeah,
I'm done.
No. Serenity followed because she went to go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fidget ran away to throw up.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought she threw up still in the room. Sorry.
No, she left the room.
Okay.
But it's. I mean, I can still fight. I'm still useful. I can still.
Don't worry, I'm not.
And she tries to stand up.
Hold on. You can still fight. I'm not going to tell you to stop fighting. But every warrior needs their rest. And you in particular need rest. Took a severe hit.
He and Aurelius made sure I was healed. I'm fine.
You are only as good as your last battle. And right now, you may be physically fine, but emotionally, you are crossing 1,000 different roads, and none of them lead to where you are trying to go. If you want, you can sit with me and Tank, and when you have the energy, you can help us windows. But I want you to try and take it easy.
Already brought me water and something to eat, and I dropped them in the room.
We can go back and grab them.
Okay.
Come on, she'll help her up.
Artemis has already gathered back up the food and the water skin and just neatly put it in a little spot for when she comes back.
Yeah, she's walking with Serenity. She's like, I didn't even thank Artie when she handed it. I need to thank Artie.
You panicked. It's okay. She understands. Trust me, out of all of the people to understand, it would be her.
She's kind of like given up trying to be strong and is like leaning against Serenity's side to help keep her up.
She keeps her stable. I've got you. We've all got you. Alright?
It's still really early. We still have the whole day.
Exactly, so you should take out your anger at Silver Tongue on everyone else. Think of them as living punching bags.
Also need to thank Artie for those snares. I had piñatas. Did you have piñatas?
Oh, absolutely. She's smiling.
Menaces.
But yeah, she'll slowly, with Serenity's help, make her way back into the room to gather the snack and water, and give a very tired smile to Artemis.
As soon as you step into the room, the cow goes, moo.
I'm okay. And she like pets the cow's head, going, I'm okay.
Artemis will kind of. She's got a little empty cup. She holds out the water skin. Do you want to wash out your mouth?
Thank you.
I know it doesn't taste good afterwards, so do we want to go into the other room and you can wash it and spit, and then
Come, yeah. I'll be back in a sec, Serenity.
Take your time.
Artemis is gonna be like 2 or 3 steps behind her, because she knows that it can become a bit woozy, but she doesn't want to crowd her.
You can keep close, Artie.
Okay.
I know before I said I needed space when I've been hurt, but
I just know that people can be overwhelming when everything else is overwhelming.
I feel surprisingly isolated, even with you guys here right now.
Okay. And Artemis will take the 3 steps forward again and like wrap an arm around her middle from behind. I mean, like the middle of her back to
And Fidget will go to where she was sick so she can clean out her mouth.
Okay. While you're doing that, there's a little moment before Serenity heads back over to help with the doors, where after they've left, Maxim kind of just slowly kind of leans forward, watching where she went, looks back over to Serenity. Better talk?
So?
Good,
Just make sure she stays rested. She's insistent on being useful, and I offered she could help us in tank, but
I don't think rest is going to be our biggest asset here until sundown. Sundown, I think we're going to crash.
even a minor mental respite would be useful for her, though.
Yeah. You see Razor kind of like pull out a gnomish timekeeper, kind of reaches foot over and kicks Aurelia's chair. You can go help Tank now.
Okay.
Oh, 5 minutes.
Just give me a few seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
What in great, I'd say, is that thing in your hand?
Oh, I shows it to you. Got it from some gnomes up in the mountains. You've actually seen something similar to this. He lets you take a look at it. You've seen something similar to this.
Did he have one?
Artemis has them.
Oh, thank God.
Artemis has several clocks.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I start calling you the fucking white rabbit. I swear to God. She just looks him over.
What do you mean the white rabbit? She's clearly Alice.
You know,
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be ominous or not.
Down the hole you go. She just looks it over. You and Artemis and your little techie things.
I sometimes need it to focus. It's for magic.
Oh, she like snaps her finger. Like that's the snap finger. She tries to think of it. Focus?
That's what I said. Yes.
No, I'm just making sure. Like arcane focus.
Yes.
I am not magically in tune. The most magic I have is innate, and I don't really need to know magic to do it. So
Most commoners don't know about that, so you're ahead of them. For what it's worth.
I'm trying my best to learn. There's a bit of. She looks towards where Artemis went. I don't want her to think she was someone as stupid as I actually am.
I don't think she's with you for your boundless intellect.
If she was, then I'd be screwed.
You're, I suppose the word would be empathetic, like Tank.
She's gonna tilt her head.
You feel for other people, and sometimes you are all too willing to let that guide you. Not a bad thing. Speaking of, Tank's in the other room. You left him to his work. Go help him out.
Yeah, he's got a few things in his head, so I should probably go help with that. She immediately heads to the room. Ew! She like pushes up to Tank.
Nails, hammer.
I didn't think you could escape, did you? She gets to work next to him.
Fidget and Artemis come back. You're able to get yourself some water to actually down, as well as a little bit of light food. Although
Something light on the stomach.
yeah.
Artemis probably gets like a little like washcloth and makes it damp and puts it on the back of Fidget's neck.
I really do appreciate you, Artie. I hope
What
you
are friends
know that.
for? I know. You wouldn't still be with me if you didn't appreciate me.
I wouldn't be with any of you guys if I didn't appreciate and trust you guys with my life.
You
Even
don't.
though I was flighty at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, me too. But I think I can read the three of you well enough to know that you don't need to verbally say thank you, just say thank you.
Yeah, but sometimes hearing it is also a good thing.
Yeah.
Especially with you putting your life at risk being here to help me.
You've put your life at risk the entire time we've been traveling together. I
In a
told you at the
heartbeat.
beginning. I'm hunted. You're still here.
Because thought I was hunted as well.
Artemis will give her a sad, commiserating smile.
So it would be kind of hypocritical of me to leave you when I'm going through the same thing.
I appreciate that.
So did you get hit at all while
I'm fine. I didn't get hurt. Midnight. I think he got hurt.
Where is he?
I don't know. Hold on a sec. She kind of takes a step away from Fidget and raises her voice. Midnight?
Just also slides in. Yes.
Oh, The gods, you're okay.
I
I know I saw you in the other room, but then we
Yeah.
left and I didn't know where you were, and
I had to take care of an itch. Kind of like motions to where he had been injured. It was really just a scrape. That, and I was going to go see if anyone else had any difficulties and whatnot. For the most part, people were okay. They did mention something a little weird, though. And he holds up 3 little medallions that are more familiar to you, Artemis, because you went looking through the pockets. As you kind of get a glimpse of them, you do note that they are not the same symbol. These were found on some of them who came in. They said they were looking for the something. I wasn't paying full attention. I was more trying not to get caught swiping these so I could look them over.
midnight. Think somebody's using this to their advantage.
He opens his mouth like he's like there's almost a dismissiveness, the normal midnight banter. And as he like processes what you say, his eyes get distant for a second, and his mouth he closes his mouth on his tongue, and he bites it slowly with this look that's almost perhaps the most furious you've ever seen him.
Artemis is gonna take the medals and look them over. She's gone several shades paler.
Mm-hmm.
Did they say the small one with the arm?
Sounds familiar. 2 of them are the 2 faces of justice.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is the Great Hunter.
The ones that were the collective members that were still in the room when we went to go find Serenity, they were saying that these people are not with the collective.
Sometimes people outsource. Call in mercenaries.
Sometimes somebody tells the wrong people about a way to get to us when we're our most vulnerable.
He starts to bounce from his heels to his toes very slowly with this look that's just very much someone keeping reins on themselves. Not as successfully as they probably would want, but definitely trying.
I need a minute. And Artemis is going to go find an empty room to close herself into for a second.
No worries.
Yeah, she's going to try and concentrate and see if she can see the strings coming off, threads coming off of the metals. But her hands are shaking. She's gone significantly paler.
Make an Arcana check. While you're doing that, you were saying something?
Oh, just that Fidget kind of leans against the wall and kind of hits her, rests her head back against it, going, somebody told them we were here and that it would be a free-for-all battle.
You see Midnight slowly pop their neck and very reflexively just kind of switches his voice to another accent. Oh, did they now? Is that what they've been doing? Someone's been talking. Someone's been making a fool of themselves.
The short one, the small one with the arm is Artie Midnight. They were here for Artie.
But this is for you.
Yeah.
But it's because it's for you, they're not focused on...
Uh-huh. They just happened to go and not go into your room.
She was at the back of the room. They didn't see her.
Nope. But they were in Serenity's room and a few of them downstairs, too.
That is not really nice of them. Ugh. He kind of squats near you.
We're being played. And I don't like it.
I don't like it either. You wanna tell Van Sterling, or you want me to handle that for you? Give you a moment to breathe.
I think going to talk to Van Sterling right now would be a good idea. To tell him about Silver, anyways.
Oh yeah, what happened to him?
Silver attacked me. Silver tried to grab me and take me with him, and I said no, and he wasn't even looking at me, and he just attacked.
He finally let
fought back. I fought back, but and then Tank. I mean, we've all seen Tank lose his temper before.
Oh, he got that. Oh.
He bashed Silver in the head with one of the tables, and then Silver muttered, "I want to live," and then dissolved into the floor.
Kind of blinks slowly, like, that's not the direction I was expecting this to go.
Yeah, so Silver isn't with us anymore.
I can gather that's bad. Tank should have tried to talk him down. He's been bad before, but we've been able to talk him out of it.
I think Tanks wanted to take out anger on Silver for a while.
He's had every good reason to. Silver's not exactly been stable, but he's been useful is the problem.
He
And
pushes away from the wall as he talks.
Having his help in this could have been vital, but what do I know about today?
Keep Artie safe, will ya? I'm gonna go find Von Sterling.
Is that an order, Captain? Oh my goodness. Gives you a mock salute.
Midnight, please.
I was going to.
What? Do you know where Von Sterling is?
Go down the stairs and gives you directions.
She gives a nod and kind of gives her own salute to him. Thank you, boss. And kind of heads away.
Gonna quickly slip over to Artie for just a second, then I'm gonna get you to Van Sterling.
We got a 24.
Yes, there are faint threads of magic on these. They're like spider webs where they go off to a distance and then seem to have snapped. Likely they had some intended purpose that was either fulfilled or was ended once they died. As far as you can tell, it looks to be some kind of either divination or conjuration threads, but hard to say. And if the effect ended when they died, it's unlikely that using Identify would tell you what they used to do.
Okay. Yeah. Artemis is just trying to wrapping her head around the fact that more than one person is taking advantage of this to hunt her. Because she also took this as, I'm going to go I'm going to figure out what this is, and I'm going to have a panic attack by myself. Thank you very much.
As you're doing this and you're looking around, there is one thing that you do see, which requires me to ask you a very, very simple, pointed question. Do you have the tome that you were looking over from the Colossi crossing?
She did not leave it anywhere, so it is on her person, yes.
Okay. The Arcana check was good. Make a perception check. Because your past perception might catch on that something is happening. This is to see if you can see what.
24.
24 is enough. There is one thread from each of these medallions that seems to move around slow enough that it looked like it was like the others until it brushes against, it goes through you. It's magic. It doesn't have to worry about touching things or being part of things. But when it hits a certain point, it stops and goes taut. And then the other two do as well. And when you follow them, they go to the book.
Okay, she's gonna open it back up again, and along with the translation she has of it.
Mm-hmm. They don't tell you anything, but make a investigation check with advantage because you've been working on this for a while. See if you can figure out what it is that could potentially be the reasoning. 22. As you look through the bits of it, you know when you write something down and you don't fully remember the notes you wrote down because you're like, transfer from one to another, transfer from one to another?
Mm-hmm.
As you're doing a quick look through, there's a point where there's symbols and whatnot that you had copied down. You're like, yeah, I remember drawing that. And then you quickly skim through, turn the page, pause, turn the page back, and look it over again. And it looks like components of some kind of ritual. Something to put a bookmark in and look at when you have a bit more time to try and read and understand the meaning behind what this is trying to say.
Yeah, she's going to, literally rip out one of the pieces from her notebook and, put it in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then start putting it back in her bag. And then her mind starts catching up with her again. There were more people that were trying to come here and kill her that were under the death cult that has revived dead people to find her now.
Fun.
Yep, and she's just trying to breathe.
Of course. As one little bit before we hop over to you, Fidget. Aurelius.
Because you didn't do it.
Well, it was not that you didn't do it. It's that you said, give me a minute. And I gave you a little bit more than a minute to make sure that you were ready for when you stood back up.
Just assume that, after that minute, he did start
of course.
Doing things. I didn't say it because...
Of course.
Things were going on.
So you get up, you start... I imagine you're helping out.
I imagine that wherever everyone else is doing their work, he's in the other room, but within earshot of them.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, you watch Serenity absolutely fail, so fucking hit a nail.
Do you need a hand?
She's cursing in Celestial because she fucking hit her hand.
As you ask that, like almost hear as much as you see Ember just slide over and be like, "It would be really funny if you just threw your arm to her."
I'm not throwing my arm at her.
But you said give her a hand.
I wonder if I can just detach my hand. He looks at the arm and tries to figure out if that is a feature.
Goddamn.
It is. It is.
It
It is. It is. Because it's Artemis, of course you would give that option to
purely
Aurelius.
for that joke.
Yes.
It's purely for the fact that someone has like nailed down his hand or like secured it in some way. There's a button to release.
Basically,
Okay.
it's a get out of handcuffs free button.
Yes,
Oh.
Artemis is made to escape. She's going to make sure her friends can escape too.
Make a note of
So
that somewhere.
So he figures that out, and he pulls it off, and he's holding it in his hand. And he finishes.
Yeah.
First, he finishes what he's doing.
Right. And you pull off your hand, Ember just looks at you for a second, like, "You can just take off the hand? Did Crazy make this for you? Fucking genius."
Wasn't crazy.
It
was my friend. And he
The short one?
with the glasses, yeah.
Ah.
And he like grabs his hand and he's like, "The fuck do I?" Oh wait, and he curls it up into a fist, so that it's ball shaped, so we can throw it easier.
Right, now you detach it.
I would like to try and throw it so that it hits the nail in perfectly.
Make a... Oh, God. Make a
I'm
dexterity check.
happy to roll at disadvantage.
Roll a dexterity check. It's an
What else?
improvised weapon, no proficiency.
It is, but he's playing a video game, so that kind of messes with his audio sometimes.
Yeah.
Turn off the video game.
No, it helps me focus on this game.
Respectable. Have a nice day.
Dexterity.
I can't say shit because I'm playing Sunhaven in the
Oh
background.
my god.
So you throw it, and despite all odds, it actually hits the nail and hits it in.
Just
hear little-
looks at the hand.
Woo! Wasn't
Aurelius,
expecting
I'm
that.
gonna confiscate your crossbow bolts.
But
That
what does
wasn't my crossbow.
what does that have to do with crossbows?
A punishment.
For what?
You know what? I don't need the crossbows anyway. He says quietly as he grabs his hand.
What is
puts
he
it
Can't
back.
confiscate
for?
a hand.
What are you being
I mean,
punished
you could.
for? What?
Look, Aurelius, if I'm gonna use your hand, I want you attached to it.
Haha, giggity.
Oh my
Aurelius
god. Are you
kinda like-
fucking?
Aurelius's eyes widen. I'm gonna keep working.
And he starts cackling. Oh, I found the perfect revenge tactic. Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm gonna
I-
kill you. And then I'm gonna kill you again.
No, you won't. You like me too much.
He's like, sorry, can't hear you over the sound of the...
Bang, bang,
Hammer.
bang, bang, bang.
So she slides to Ember. Watch this. And she will move up to Aurelius. Aw, did I upset you, darling? I'm sorry. She like puts her fucking hands up his back to his shoulders.
He is stoically ignoring her to the best of his ability.
I do not perceive it. I do not.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I'm glad you understood.
She's pouting. You can't ignore me forever.
You'd be surprised.
You just failed.
You actually see him stop mid-motion. Like, the hammer's like just about to hit the nail. And he's stopped his movement just before it.
See?
Silence.
You couldn't ignore me. She'll just kiss his cheek before she goes back to work.
You were lucky that war crimes are not a thing I do.
What's a
Yes,
war
they
crime?
are.
Yeah, they are.
No, I'm lucky that you have so much affection for me that you wouldn't hurt me.
And then there's Ember, who's just like, "What's a war crime?"
War crime who?
Listen, you don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry, he's just being spiky and angry because he likes me.
I'm.
Neither his armor
He's
nor
like-
his hair are spiky. He's just kind of silky and leathery. I guess those are the words to describe his armor. Look, I'm not good with descriptors.
He looks at his hair and he's like, I'm not sure if this would be considered silky.
Listen, have you seen some of
It's
the
like-
people who come back from boats with their
I mean, I
hair
like
all
running my
frizzed
hands.
up?
I like running my hands through it, but that's just me.
Aurelius narrows his eyes a little bit and he's like looking at his hair. Oh my god, it's
Called
silky.
it.
This whole time I thought it was like a frazzly mess. What happened?
You're surprisingly
Aurelius.
handsome, darling.
Aurelius
Thank you for
realizing he's a heartthrob.
Him? No, it's
Aurelius
not true.
realizing he's
He's
well.
what?
The thing is, the corruption is now like not as prominent on his face anymore.
Yeah,
To the point where even his left eye no longer has like the
grossness.
black opal anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just both of his eyes are normal now.
Yeah.
So he's just like, what is happening?
You looked in a mirror recently since the incident.
No!
Ooh,
I
Ember,
haven't
you
looked
have
in
a
the mirror
mirror?
since.
I'm on it. Just runs. Leap.
I haven't looked in the mirror since I cut my hair last.
To be fair,
Now
I
it's
thought you
back
were
down to my
handsome
shoulders.
I thought you were handsome before the incident. So, nothing's changed.
Yeah, but before the incident, I also had, not really spent time around people. I was mostly monster hunting. He says as he continues working.
I mean, you're still
Because
spending
what
time
else do you
around
do
people.
if you've been...
You're spending time around people now, and you're still more flustered than I expected.
he like stops what he's doing and looks over. I may be able to talk to people. That does not mean I'm good at people.
Could have fooled me.
I-
You are very.
I'm trying not to fool. Sorry?
She said you are very smooth when you want to be.
I...
Realize it.
Hello?
Hello, Baba.
No?
Oh
I love how I can hear the
No.
no, like
No,
she's about
no.
to do something. I fully expected you to hear help before the fucking mute happens.
I'm playing game with friends.
This is the normal
I
time
got
for a game
off.
with friends. How did she forget?
She didn't realize that I have D&D twice a week.
What
Oh.
She thought the sessions were just switching.
No, we have it more
You're
than once a
cheating
week.
on us?
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
the
fine.
session that
You can't make it to that
Comp and I
session.
both run.
Yeah. You can't make it to that session. We already thought about you. But yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
where was I?
She
Right.
called you
um,
smooth.
Smooth, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't people.
It's like, look, he's doing his best to suppress a smile.
Oh, trust me, I am looking.
I'm gonna fucking.
You are so easy to fluster, and it is so much fun.
Mind you, when you're out monster hunting, you're not really around people who are trying to flirt with you when you're covered in grime and dust and mud and everything in between.
Luckily,
So
you have me now.
I don't see you monster hunting.
No, I'm saying I would still flirt with you even if you were covered in grime, muck, dirt, blood, etc.
Yeah, but you're also kind of fucking weird. Not in a
Aren't
bad
we
way.
all? Well, the tank's just in this room listening to this bullshit, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's the only one currently still doing work.
I'm sorry, Tank.
Like Aurelius is working, but in between he's just being a dick.
Right. In which case, I'll say that's a good point to cut over.
I'll quickly add this little thing. When you're by yourself and you're monster hunting for as long as I have, you kind of start to question whether or not you're closer to the beast than the human. But recently I'm realizing that the fact that I'm even questioning that shows my humanity.
Told you. She'll just give him a kiss to the cheek before she gets back to work.
You bastard, I'm going to fucking... He goes for the crossbow.
I must shoot! Meanwhile, around this point is when Fidget gets up, leaves, and goes down. You go down the stairs, you follow the directions. As you do so, you eventually will you will pass Ember, who just has a wrapped cloth around an object that you presume is a mirror. As she's just kind of skipping and gives you a little wave like, I'm gonna go let him see himself. It's gonna be fun. Oh my god.
I can't with you guys. She keeps walking by.
And you head into basically the basement area, which you were told that there is a level below this, as likely was also evident from the other one that you had been in. Mm-hmm. But there's a room, if you can call it that. It's made of boxes and shelving to kind of more warden it off from the rest of the warehouse than from doors and walls. But in it, Van Sterling is looking over a map, and he's putting down markers on what clearly looks to be a layout of the warehouse. And it's like little chess piece board pieces that he's putting in certain areas and kind of looking it over and kind of squinting as he's looking over the pieces he has, picking one up to put down, and then counting the pieces, looking back over, and kind of just slowly reassessing the board.
Von Sterling, sir?
Come in.
We have a problem.
Fill me in.
Cultists are using this as a decoy or a reason to go after Artemis. I've seen at least 3 of them that, well, 2 of them. I heard 3, but I guess 1 went out the window. Anyways,
Oh yeah.
But
This is Sparta.
Midnight calls them downstairs, and they're using this as their reason to do what they're planning to do.
He kind of pauses for a second and looks up. If that's true, we might need to reach out to Iceberg. Try and put a stop to this.
Also, she motions to herself, realizing now what she looks like.
Mm-hmm. He's seen you worse.
This is thanks to Silver Tongue.
Closes his eyes. Trying to figure out what his problem was coming from, but I'm sorry we put you through that.
He's no longer in the building.
Kind of pauses as that, opens his eyes and leans back very slightly. Another problem.
After he attacked, Tank tried to help, like you know how he and I are, and Silver muttered, "I want to live," and then the shadowy tentacles kind of enveloped him, and he went into the floor.
Curious. I don't imagine you know what that was.
I never understood him, sir.
He steps out from behind the desk, places a hand on your shoulder. I'm sorry.
I don't think any of us thought he'd actually hurt me.
Never.
I did give as badly as he hit me, and Tank hit him with a table, if that's any consolation.
His expression doesn't change, but he just kind of gives a very slight nod. I have to move some things around. Go back to your allies. Tell them we're taking a defensive measure again, keeping our heads on a swivel. I need to reach out to Iceberg.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you head back?
She heads back.
Man, that Krusty should not have a voice like that.
As you're heading back, something's wrong.
There's something wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
You see someone looking through some stuff before pulling out what is distinctly, very clearly, a mirror. Before grabbing some cloth to put it in, and turns around as Ember looks to you and gives you a wave. Oh, hi. Took me a little longer than I expected. Sorry about that.
And she just runs.
Yep.
And touches the spy's rumor, going, "That's not Ember!"
Yep. Up in the rooms with you all, Ember comes into the room, just kind of looks around, sets something on the table, and just kind of waves at you all.
Hey.
Looks over at
Find the mirror?
his little nod, motions to the little bundle. Points to the tables and motions to a hammer and nails, and then motions the other. I'll go get started. She walks off. Anything you two are talking about in particular?
I mean, she's just teasing her. She's just teasing Aurelius.
Yeah.
Or she's just talking, like... I feel like at this point, she might be talking to both Aurelius and Tank and just, like... telling, like, I don't know, like, stories of, like, oh, yeah, I used to, like, help Dad build some things, and I was always bad at it, so...
Aurelius is talking about how he used to help build, He actually goes into the story of, in his first year of recovery, he was allowed to stay at the castle, and during those times, he would teach people how to wield a greatsword, and part of that was setting up the training dummies and the exercises. So he spent a lot of time when he was physically recovering using that as a form of exercise.
Tank kind of
like manual labor.
Did too is rejuvenate. Yes. Artie, did you come back into the room by chance?
It'll take her a minute because she has to compose herself. But she'll get there.
Yep.
Is it right when she hears that from Fidget?
No, not right when. You have maybe like 15 or so seconds as you enter the room. You just see the Ember is like set a few nails down and set the hammer down, is looking over the room. Seems to be concentrating on something before kind of pausing, perking up. Just needs to wait for a second. When she sees you, she gives you just this little wave. Waving this like big smile. But there's something slightly off about it. Can
I insider?
Sure you can.
I'm gonna have Aurelius remain oblivious because he's half talking, half doing the task.
Yeah.
You haven't heard it yet.
Serene's confused because Ember was like the one who
11.
wanted to look at it.
Yep. With an 11, she looks genuinely happy to see you.
Okay.
And then she kind of like takes a few steps forward and just approaches you real quick.
Hello.
Hi.
And now you hear Fidget.
You hear Fidget. They don't seem to notice anything. However, you are alert, so you know something's wrong right before you hear her say that. They don't get advantage on the attack, as they do not surprise you. They do crit
We'll say
you,
the
though.
minute Serenity hears that's not Ember, she fucking immediately knows
Hey,
where Ember is.
She does,
Calm down.
Yeah,
Just let him do the thing first.
they do crit you, though.
Ah, fun.
Mm-hmm. I need you to roll me a con save.
I'm the poison!
The poison for Artemis. The poison designed specifically to
I
poison
got a nat
Artemis.
one!
Oh, that's bad.
Use the inspiration thing! Wait,
Okay.
I was gonna say you can re-roll.
Yeah, that's probably wise. This would have been interesting, though.
It probably still will be.
I was about to say, I'm like,
That's 24.
Never mind.
That is a success.
already said ow, bitch!
I'm still gonna be taking damage. It was still a crit.
Yep.
Oh yeah!
So which room is this that we're in at the moment?
It is your room.
You're in the room too.
Yeah, but what room number?
The one that I
Room
left you
one
guys
that-
in.
It's still in the.
Yeah.
Probably
Third
like
one.
room.
Okay.
Room 1.
Yeah.
Alright, so a success means I roll the normal number and not the crit number of dice. Not because saving throw, but the saving throw was to not get one of the other effects.
The effect was anti-cuddle serum.
You take 48
Serenity
points.
Make you never-
You take 48 points of damage.
Okay.
11 was
I'm at-
piercing. The rest was poison.
I'm at 2 hit points now.
Oh!
And you are not silenced.
She lets out a scream of utter agony.
Yep.
And buckles.
So let's move people around real quick.
Yeah, and Fidget is up the stairs as quickly as she can since she can move.
So
quite
window. He'd be working on this window here, probably.
Probably over here. I'm just gonna use the token from last time. Up close, by the way, you finally can see. You don't see fully. Your passive perception can note vaguely that whatever this entity is, they don't quite match the image they're portraying. They still look like they are Ember, but they physically have bits of abnormality that is just perceptible if you know what you're looking for. Can I have that battle music, please?
Do it.
Give me a sec. The page doesn't want to load the music.
Burp.
There we go.
Do you
Yeah.
want me? Oh, nope, there
There
we
are
go.
probably like these black veins spreading up from whatever poison is that is spreading rapidly because that just took out
A chunk.
almost all of her health.
Okay.
No, I won't worry
And
about
she
that.
looks like she's starting to choke.
Oh, yeah. In this case, instead of having room set match, which it doesn't show obviously, but it still does for me. So, whoa, don't delete that. I'd like everyone to roll initiative.
Initiative. Oh my lord.
Yep.
Oh.
Valinor is on this window.
Serenity is ready.
Serenity heard fight.
No, Serenity
There's
Aurelius
two of
was-
me.
But yeah, look at Fidget.
Fidget was already moving.
Yeah,
I
they're
like the thought that it isn't that Aurelius doesn't notice what's going on. It's that he notices and he's still holding like several things in his hand.
What?
And he just struggles to put it down.
Right. With advantage. Oh. Would you like to know who was also ready?
Think.
Yep. I think he actually rolled exactly what Serenity rolled. Exactly what Serenity rolled.
Hey,
Sounds
can we
about right.
remove one of my doves?
Yeah, there's 2 doves
Oh.
on the.
Did you drop another
I
dove? You
I
couldn't
dropped
move-
another dove because I have to drop a dove or else it whatever and it won't
No
do my
worries.
initiative.
Go ahead. Put your dove down so you can. I'll add your turn. Don't worry. I'll add your turn. As long as you can move
Look how
them,
many
you're
people
fine.
rolled a 19 or a 20.
People were
People
told.
already
Yeah.
were ready.
Yep. You can edit it now.
You're gonna have to
I'm gonna
add mine
add
as
you.
well.
Don't worry.
Thank you. Arigato. Arigato,
It's been
Tomodachi.
added.
Have to add a
Why
lot
did it
of
go back
people.
to 0?
Probably because I'm in the middle
yeah,
of adding
but-
people. Add it now and hit enter. I'll wait for you to actually hit enter before I add the next person.
Here we go.
Thank you. Yeah, if a person hits enter while you're in the middle of doing something, actually I'm gonna remove Valinor and Maxim from this. They were in the other room because I don't think we're going to need quite this many people all doing this. Excuse you, I want that word to stay there. Why is window not on the map layer? How
Did
dare
you accidentally put it on the token level?
It might
Because
be.
you're an asshole.
We already knew this. Don't out me like this.
I'm going out you like this.
Don't out me like
Baby
this.
bought me food.
Yay!
Mom and Dad, stop fighting.
Yeah, this is
Your
why.
mom!
Yeah, this is why I didn't worry too much about where everyone else's initiative was.
Yeah, and Artemis didn't shut off the spy's murmur, so everyone heard that scream.
Oh yeah. Midnight was not ready for that.
Can I roll to have Aurelius be stunned from just the shriek of in this spy's murmur hurting his fucking ears?
Wisdom save, I'll say.
Okay. Because what I'm effectively doing is having him be stunned for a turn.
Yeah, no, I understand.
From the
surprise round,
thing.
effectively. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people are already setting off fireworks.
I hear them.
I hate it.
I've got another
I
hour
wouldn't mind it
before
if
it
it wasn't
starts
for the
here.
fact. I wouldn't mind if it wasn't for the fact that they're setting them off at like 9 o'clock. It's like,
Oh.
great.
There's one other person who is meant to be on this.
Is it Ember?
It is Ember.
The actual Ember?
The actual Ember is not here. I gotta just drop her on the map.
Was she coming? Oh Lord, she coming.
Because she heard Fidget go fuck and run away.
Oh, this is a fun little bit.
What?
The only reason why she is behind you is not because of anything specifically in that regard. Let me just pull her up to where she belongs real quick.
Did she get the top of the round?
Yes, she rolled a natural 20.
Go Amber. Go Amber.
So needless to say, she heard you say fuck and didn't ask questions, just immediately started following. Heard that's not Ember and was just like, "Ow, come on! I know I'm pretty, but no!" But that is not her turn to worry about, because surprise round, Ember did not do anything. You have been stabbed. You are already running, so that is where you get up to with Ember. Artemis and Serenity. Artemis is 1 point higher, so Artemis, you go first.
So I'm like,
Can I move?
Yeah.
I'm going to do something first because I want to be able to. I'm so close to getting an attack of opportunity. I'm going to. Why did I have to roll so high on initiative?
The one time we're rolling high isn't a good thing.
Dandelion wants you to know that I love gremlin noises when you're frustrated.
I'm gonna zoom on in. Make this easier to see. Scroll down a smidge.
Yeah, I'm gonna use Firebolt.
Okay. Go ahead and make the attack roll for that. Yeah, 19 will hit. 13 damage. Not bad. Good start.
And she's gonna kind of scramble backwards.
All right. Attack of opportunity. You are higher than a 11.
Yes.
So you are able to scramble back away from him as they swing at you, and it's clear that they were expecting you to be a little less capable
Less
than you
alive?
currently are. Not alive, less capable.
Yeah, there's like blood running down from her mouth and her nose, and she's crying and gritting her teeth. But she is fucking pissed.
All right. Only moving
Yeah.
right there.
Just far away.
You have 3 more squares you can move. There you go.
Cool. Yeah, that's where I'm moving. That's where we're going.
Gotcha. Serenity. If you want to act on this turn, first action, you know what to do.
Rage.
Yep, there she goes. The computer is
Grapple.
really lagging. Grapple. Ah. Yeah, you get him.
And ironically, I have this.
Swing away.
A lot of damage, but damage.
Last session I did say a thing.
It's the greatsword though, not the scimitar.
Oh, I know what I said. Hold on. Oh, it's the scimitar? Right, never mind. Continue as you were. You are correct.
I can't hit her with the greatsword, but I can grapple the bit so she can't follow Artie.
You grab them, and this is distinctly bigger than you were anticipating. That's your turn?
Yep. Yeah, free action speed. Kill the fucking bitch!
You hear another bellowing roar. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. As Tank rages and runs over. He's doing a reckless attack. That actually almost missed. He rolled really low. But he still hit. As he just runs up and just basically just throws a haymaker into this guy's face. Wow, fuck, jeez. Go off, Tank, I guess. 20 points of bludgeoning damage for the first hit. Does not get the added
Take one of
dice.
your hands.
He does not get the added dice for the second hit. That will barely hit again with the same number. That one is for 10 points of damage. No hurting the squishy artificer wizard allowed. He's gonna do it again. That is his turn. Aurelius, you are stunned for the round. Actually, let me roll for midnight.
Yeah.
Also was not expecting that. So back to the top of the round.
Like, I figured that despite the fact Aurelius has the alert feat, it makes sense that he's off guard.
It do make sense, yes. Ember will kind of just... This is flavoring that she is running up with Fidget, but she will action dash. And bonus action, she goes to perform the same kind of draw blood thing, and then she kind of winces like, but fighting later. So she avoids it. She's very angry about it, though. She looks like she really wants to set something on fire. Patasu. I have a question for you, real quick.
Yes.
You have feats, yes?
Yes.
Do you have
Two of
the
'em.
Sentinel?
Unfortunately, no. That was what I was taking next.
Then unfortunately, this man will bonus action disengage.
Can you disengage out of grapple?
How dare you?
Oh, you're right. He is grappled. He's going to try and get out of the grapple first. Please make a. I really like the new way they're doing it with the saving throw. He rolled a natural 20.
You bitch.
That was his action, though, so he is going to then bonus action disengage and move up next to Artie. Still looks like Ember. Still very much just... But the dainty little bouncing is gone. It's lower to the ground and ragged breathing that is far more deep and throaty than the feminine form that Ember has.
Okay. Fidget will...
You were
use
2
her-
ahead, so you can be 2 ahead of Ember. Unless you wish to... Yep.
Just here.
You can be up.
I could be at the door at least? So,
Yeah.
like, in the door?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here.
Yep. That is the end of your turn. Artie! He's back!
Hold on a minute. I have a thought.
Holding.
Oh my god. Thinking.
I know.
My biggest weakness. It makes sense for Artemis to do it.
Hold on. I'm about to blow your mind.
Okay. Artemis is going to glare up at him and grab on with both hands and use burning hands.
Woo!
Oh, Artie.
And I'm doing this at 3rd level.
Hey.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
It requires a dexterity saving throw, but my spell saves are 16.
14 will fail then. As you put your hands up against... you imagine you're reaching for Ember's face.
Whatever is closest to me.
Ember's face then. You reach out and you put your hands against Ember's face and feel like more of a neck area. Close fucking enough. Let the flames rip.
Okay, that is 5d6.
Excuse me.
That'll be 16.
All right.
Isn't it plus 8 because of my spellcasting modifier?
Roll a d8. Oh, no, wait, no, because your spellcasting modifier... Yeah.
Well, she rolled the 8, so, you know.
There's
So
the 8.
that'll be... Yep.
24.
That's 16. Yes. 24 points of burn damage.
Yep. Anything else
Fire
you're doing?
damage. I'm going to scramble away again.
This motherfucker.
This.
16 AC.
Yes.
13 misses. He's getting closer.
Actually, can I get behind this one, or is that too far away?
5, 10, 15. No, that's close enough. Oh, wait.
Okay, that-
Hold on. You moved again. So you move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That is a diagonal. Yeah, you can make it to the other one.
Okay.
All right, that is your turn. So you moved
I
up.
will say it looks like she is having a hard time breathing.
Makes sense, yeah. So that is your turn. Serenity.
Running and die. Try to grapple again. Actually.
Yep.
Done. There is a wall behind this person.
Yeah.
Can I try something just a little bit grim? Can I fucking pin them to the wall with my great axe?
Great sword?
Yeah.
You're trying to, as in, put your flat of the blade to shove him into it, or you're trying to run them through?
I am trying to run them through and put the greatsword through the wall behind them.
Not with her current. Hold on. Where is her current health threshold? Make an attack roll.
Reckless.
Roll damage. That's the one.
I didn't hear it said, I'm sorry.
No, I said, yes, that's the one. So that's... You attempt to skewer him through, and you see that they twist their body in such a way that slashes against their side, but does not get the correct pin. You have a follow-up.
Let's try again.
That'll hit.
Oof.
All right. Well, you already told me how you wanted it. So you see him grazed, and you pivot, pull the blade in just this wide arc before kind of slamming your hand against the pommel to get it to slap against your arm before pulling it back, not looking at him, just slamming it into his chest, just lifting him up and slamming him into the wall, and just feeling it just push up into him until he is just pinned into the wall. I need to roll something real quick. Okay.
She's putting her entire weight behind this to try and make this harder to get out.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's like twitching and going like more limp. That is your turn.
Yep.
Tank doesn't move. He just kind of... Actually, he does move. 10, 15, 20, 30. He's going to move to impose himself between them and Fidget.
Artie.
Artie.
Yes.
No, he said my name instead of yours.
Yes. I'm an intelligent individual. Aurelius, you are coming out of the stun and you see that Serenity has pinned someone to a wall and Artie is struggling to breathe.
All right. Aurelius is moving down to Artie, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on her.
Gotcha.
At second... Wait, hold on, let me check if I have this. Yeah, second level.
Thank you.
So I'm just checking the effects here. So it won't get rid of whatever the poison is, but it will heal your hit points. Because I would have done lay on hands to get rid of whatever the fuck's in you, but I used it up earlier like an idiot.
You didn't know.
Yeah.
How could you know?
Like, I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying like an idiot.
Right.
Because, yeah.
Of course.
Rapid bonking. No bad talk.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's all I really want to necessarily do. Besides, maybe, he's basically body blocking Artemis is the goal.
Gotcha. So meanwhile, Midnight moves up and like looks towards the window and back towards the other guy. Like clearly, it's not a matter of confusion, more a matter of he's also body blocking, trying to figure out what's going on, and that angry, enraged body posture and look is back in full force. Ember will come in with Fidget. We'll come into right about here, and we'll see that he's pinned to the wall. Scroll down real quick. And she kind of just stands there and looks like, that's not me. What the fuck? Whoa, he's a big boy. Oh, he's still alive. That was her action to do an investigation check to see through the illusion. Serenity, you feel the weight of him pinned to the wall disappear. So you will bonus action Misty Step.
Is he so determined?
He wants you dead!
And he's going to make... Actually, make me a strength saving throw.
Me?
You.
Oh, God. Oh!
Go, Artie!
He reaches out to grab you, and you're able to... You're kind of backed up by enough people that you can kind of push him back to keep him from grabbing you, as he says something to you in Elvish.
Enough people are around Artie can speak it too.
You, Midnight, Tank. I don't think either Aurelius or Serenity speak Elvish, do they?
I do not.
Neither of them do, no.
Aurelius has explicitly said,
Yes, no,
I
I
don't
remember.
need to fucking learn Elvish.
Yeah, you're
Both
saying it
Serenity
again.
and Aurelius, we need to fucking learn. This is getting tiresome.
Artie and Fidget, then. You two distinctly hear them say, "Give it to us. Give us the ritual." Fidget.
Question.
Huh.
What table did they put down the covered item on?
Looks to be over here. Oh. Yep,
That one?
that one.
Okay. Fidget is going to go over to the table and uncover the item.
The item, as soon as you uncover it, perks upright and scuttles for a second as it is a hand. A hand that just got up onto its fingertips and starts to scuttle around.
She's gonna go, take her axe and slam it down on it.
Make an attack roll.
I'm gonna re-roll that if that doesn't hit.
My cat's trying to eat my crumbs.
And 11 does miss.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll that. I'm using my inspiration because fuck this hand.
Go ahead.
There we go.
That'll hit.
For 6.
Just gonna drop that down so you know where it is or was.
Okay.
As you slam your hand into it, not your hand, your axe into it, and it goes, just immediately just stops moving. Hit it once, dead.
Yeah.
It's obviously smaller than that, but
let me see here.
only has medium size, not tiny.
Here. She's gonna use the rest of her movement to get about here. And that was only her. No, there's people in the way. She's not even gonna try.
You're gonna try and throw the axe?
Yeah, I was going to.
You could go
but
lower instead of up, down instead of up, and you'd have a better shot.
Over here?
There's a good shot, yeah.
Okay, then she's gonna throw her axe at him.
Throw away.
For their knees.
Aim for the... You should have gone for the head. That does hit.
Max damage.
You know, I don't know what it is, but something tells me Comp really likes the line, you should have gone for the head.
How do you want to do it?
I want it to land, like, square in the middle of their head.
Right between the eyes?
Between their eyes. Right between the eyes.
So, you don't know where their actual head is. Because
Okay,
it's
whatever.
Ember's head. But
Yeah, whatever she sees.
So it flies and it hits, and you hear a gurgling sound. You realize you hit him in the throat. And they kind of like take a half step back, and they reach as though to pull it out like it's inconsequential, but as they do so, it flies back to Fidget's hand and kind of rips a bigger gash, and they fall forward as though reaching for it, like, no! We need...
I'd assume that after that the illusion would disperse.
No.
Huh.
This is like the other motherfuckers. He's still alive.
I'll say Artemis and Fidget.
Huh?
Both of you are aware of something that would cause something like this, and the best way to attempt to determine reality in this respect is to make an investigation check.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll say, Artie, you roll first, and then Fidget, you roll second.
Oh, I got a nat one.
A nat
so
one?
we're good.
Yeah. So
I got 26.
you're as soon as they fall down, you ignore them and look to Artie. You're doing exactly what you would expect to be doing. You've fought, you killed. Focus on what's important.
Yes.
Artemis, you looking down at them, see it is an illusion. 1 second here, just to make sure I'm correct about this, because I feel like I am.
I will
Yeah, it does not
quickly just... Can I roll a medicine check to see how Artie's doing?
I'll say yeah, go ahead. While you're doing that,
Alright.
Artemis, the figure is actually a gnoll. And like with the ones the ones who had come into this room, they have that kind of... Actually, no, they don't. This one doesn't have this. This one has a different issue, but one that you've seen before. Their lower jaw has been shredded by extra teeth. You last saw this right before you guys went into the town that had the ruins, where you saw more of gnolls like this with the extra teeth protruding through their lower jaws. And with a quick look over, you see that they have a medallion. And you realize that when they had found the medallions before for midnight, they had 2 of the 2 heads of justice and only 1 of the hunt. This is your second hunter. Because they've been coming in pairs.
Midnight. Yep. Take Artie downstairs to Von Sterling's area.
He nods. Aurelius, she's fine for the most part. She looks to be keeping her blood inside her body. You know that's where that's supposed to be.
Put this in numbers terms, she has 14 hit points.
In numbers terms,
out of 57.
She's a little hurt, just a bit.
Yeah, that's why Fidget's like, get her out of here.
Yeah. Midnight will nod and gently escort her, and will kind of like half pause in thought. Bless you, and will kind of do like a head nod to Aurelius, like, "Come on," as basically being like, "If you want, you can help me escort her downstairs."
Aurelius considers his options, and he's going to look at the rest of the group and be like, and it's a look of, you can tell he's trying to figure out if going off is the best thing for him to be doing, or if... Okay. So, like, as he looks around, he sees everyone else is pretty much able to fend for themselves, really. And he trusts them to be able to work with each other. So he ultimately does go with Artemis. But before he does, he looks around and says, "Does anyone have a shield?"
We can get you outfitted.
I think I have a basic shield.
It's not for me.
Yeah, we can get her outfitted.
Get her something lightweight, but can protect her.
Well, you get her something lightweight and can protect her. Come on. We're moving. Up two. And he's saying it gently as almost like a little staccato thing, very hushed, not raising his voice, and very much trying to kind of give Artemis a sound to kind of keep her moving forward and something to focus on outside of turning inward.
Yeah, she's already started to turn inward. Her arms are kind of wrapped tightly around herself. If any of them try to like touch her or to get too close, she doesn't flinch, but she kind of shifts away because she's taught herself how to not flinch, because flinching has gotten her punished in the past. So she just keeps walking and weaving, but not making eye contact with anyone.
Gotcha.
I would say with Aurelius' passive insight, he would notice this kind of behavior, but not do anything about it. It's not as important right now.
Yeah, it's not something she's actively hiding. This is probably the most open and vulnerable you've seen her.
And it does not help, Aurelius, that you... In fact... Just for the fun of it, Aurelius, can you roll me a history check with advantage?
Oh, with advantage. Oh, I'll just roll again.
18's good. 18's definitely good. Can we get better? 21 is better. The way that she holds herself together, in a way where she doesn't make unnecessary movements, strikes a distant chord with you. Not one that you'd ever thought about. Not ever made a connection like that. But seeing her openly vulnerable like this, you remember young men and women kids, some young teenagers who reacted similar to this. It was part of training for you, but seeing it now, part of your mind starts to wander. How you hadn't noticed how afraid people were.
There's a brief moment on Aurelius's face of pity, a combination of pity and regret. I'd say that it's not long enough for most people to notice it. But Artemis, if with her passive perception, definitely would. It's only for a few seconds. Before he discards it, he acknowledges that it is there and focuses on the task at hand. But there is this semblance of pain and regret to him in this moment. And while it's unspoken, there's this sense that in his mind, doing this is a form of redemption.
You'll also notice she is walking a little slower than she usually does. She usually is very quick, very weave through a crowd, disappear into it. It's taking a lot of energy and concentration for her to be upright and continue walking like this.
Artemis?
They're already walked out of the room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is them. They've already
My bad.
walked out. You're fine.
I
Back
can
in the
tell this sample the rest in the
You're
room.
fine. Back in the room.
I'll just say
Yep.
quietly, I'm going to stay to keep you strong. Okay?
You get a small nod in return.
If we're side by side, we can handle anything thrown at us, okay? We're gonna be fine. You're going to be okay.
Another nod.
Sorry, I'm not very good at this, but for what it's worth. I do appreciate you.
That gets a quick glance and another nod.
He understands and just continues with what he's doing. He's basically acting as the back guard to Midnight's forward guard, if that makes sense. Was it Midnight that he went off with, or was
Yes,
it?
it is midnight with you.
Yeah, okay. I needed to be sure. Alright, cool. That's it.
On.
Yeah.
Can I do something for flavor text?
What?
So, you know that essentially how a Vixis appears if I get hit in various different forms like mouth, claw, etc.
Yeah.
Walking up to the body,
Mm-hmm.
the illusion still hasn't dropped, yeah?
Yeah.
It's dropped, or is it?
No.
I'm sorry.
It does not drop. It is not concentration.
Ah, okay.
So remain like this for at least a bit longer.
Is Ember still in the room?
Yeah.
She would have told Fidget it was a null. Just like very briefly.
Fidget would have just kind of given a nod, and her face would have gone blank of emotion, but anyone who knows her knows that that's her trying very hard not to snap.
Well, at least one of us is holding it in. Amber, close your eyes.
Slowly turns and looks away. Why?
Because you don't want to see what I'm about to do to this body.
Now I wanna.
Then look, I don't care. Evictus.
Yeah.
So, normally she lets this just happen.
Mm-hmm.
First time she has actively controlled this.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to summon a black shadow behind her, and it takes the form of a very large mouth. And she's gonna have it maul the body.
Nom 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 nom. How you doing there, buddy? Okay, he's holding it together. Tank was not expecting that.
Oh,
Another
this is
thing Tank isn't used to is that Fidget's starting to have that smokiness come out of her eyes and through the crack of her mouth as well.
Yeah. Tank's just nodding slowly, like, ah.
this is
You all have the
dumbest.
aesthetic.
This is the dumbest question that I'm gonna ask. It bleeds when I do this, yes?
The creature? I mean,
Yes.
what blood it has, yeah.
There's blood coming from her. She does it.
Gross.
She spits it to the side. Wait, repeat that?
Gross.
Fidget's gonna kind of snap out of it and kind of go, Von Sterlin said we were supposed to take on the offensive while he talks to Iceberg about things, but I don't think any of us expected this to happen.
Sterling's wiping her mouth. No. Is there a way for us to check anyone in this group to see if there's illusions?
I honestly don't know.
Actually, roll a history check.
Me?
Which one?
You. Yes. Not
Me.
you.
Okay.
You. Yes, you.
Ah. You keep asking me to roll things with a 0 modifier, I swear.
Those are my favorite things to roll. I will roll that with a -1. You actually remember something, as you said. I don't remember. You don't remember immediately, but it comes to you a little bit over time, specifically because you were trying to put it more out of your head because of the fact that it is a silver tongue thing. But it's not just silver tongue. In fact, it's something that happened 2 days ago, as there were many of you running around. Disguise self. And the best way to do that is interacting with someone will prove that they're not the right height, like how Maxim is taller than you, but if you interact with them, you would be able to tell that if someone was trying to look like him and they were shorter, you'd be able to notice that. Or just scrutinizing them well enough, rolling an investigation check out a character, might allow you that benefit.
Fidget will relay that to Serenity, going, remember when there was a lot of me? And if we look closely enough, we should be able to see through it.
We gather every person here, and I will check them personally.
Tank holds up a finger. Check one person. If they're good, get that person to help. If those people are good, get them to help. That way, it does not take all day.
We are a large group, Serenity. You're gonna want the help.
Oh,
Do you have
he
something that I can wash my mouth out with?
He's like reaching a hand for her, pauses, hands you the water skin, and then kind of moves his hand, puts his hand on your head, pats it slowly, pats your cheek, nods, reaches over to Fidget, pats your head, pats your cheek, nods, and then kind of like motions like, the proof is me. It is you. No trick.
He nods. I need to get the taste of Noel out of my mouth.
The bathroom's around the corner.
I just need some water. Where was the canteen item I bought?
You'll be directed
Fidget
to
will
it.
look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fidget will look at Tank,
Mhm.
and after a moment, she'll squint her eyes and punch his chest.
Oh no.
It's you.
I'm dying.
You asshole.
You wouldn't be Tank if he wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you.
Yeah.
Had to make sure.
Also, Tank,
Mm.
remember how I told you that you were not the only one? She gestures to the body. That's why I said that.
Am I missing something between you two?
Violence.
Well, yeah, and that's
He-
been how you've always been, Tank.
He crosses his arms and nods affirmatively, like, yes, this explained everything.
Can Fidget
bitch.
insight check him?
Sure.
Oh, Serenity's about to out him!
Yeah.
Not fully!
Oh, if you want to, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
He mentioned that he had innocent blood on his hands. I explained to him he was not the only one, and that the amount of blood on my hands might actually outweigh his.
He makes a wishy-washy motion, like, doubtful.
Hank, I just ate a person!
Pogo.
Fair enough. He takes a drink!
No retort, just, never mind.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
I just love the pogo.
Fidget will kind of hit Tank's chest again, going, "That's how you always been, big guy. Like, I'm gonna look at you any differently."
He shrugs.
Serenity snorts in the canteen.
He holds up a hand and he flips you off, not looking at you.
It ain't me you want to do that to, big guy.
Makes a flicking motion of like, fuck.
She's not even looking at, she's just drinking. She can just feel.
Do I need to leave you two alone?
No, I'm not into him that way. His brother, however.
Oh.
He looks mortified.
Yeah, I'm sensing that I'm missing part of this conversation.
You are.
Is fine.
He's staring Tank down.
Is fine.
Remember what I told you.
Is fine.
Hank.
Is fine.
Hank.
Is fine.
I'm
Don't
not
make
gonna leave
me-
you alone until you do it.
Don't make me call you by your real name.
Is
Ooh!
fine.
Oh, please do. I want to know this.
Prepare
He'll take a-
defenses.
She'll take a step forward,
Prepare.
even though she's got to look up at him and go, "Simon."
No.
Your name is Simon.
He looks over at you, looks back to Fidget, takes a deep breath, walks over, walks to the banister, and like walks into it so that his waist hits the railing, and he just lets himself just flip over it. And he bodily hits the bottom of the stairs. You just hear him just say from the bottom, "Oh."
Was that worth not telling me what's going on, big guy?
Gets up, brushes himself off, looks up, nods, walks away.
She'll look at Serenity going, "Did I miss, like, something?"
I think he
'Cause-
likes you.
What?
What? What's so confusing about that?
Me?
No, the shadow.
Tank,
Oh my
Tank.
god, you're as blind as Aurelius. She takes another sip.
There's a moment of pause before Fidget just dashes out of the room after Tank.
Oh, there she goes.
Tank!
This shield?
Tank,
No.
get your half-orc ass over here now.
Ooh. Scuttles a little past, like, oh no, oh no. This shield? No. This shield? No. This, no. Artemis shield. Find shield.
Run for your life!
He's distinctly not trying to outrun you.
She'll keep running until they're like in an area where there's nobody but them.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll just glare at him. How long?
He switches to Elvish. It's been longer than I'd like to admit. I don't know the exact day or time, just years.
She'll switch to Elvish as well. Just, are you ever gonna tell me?
You have someone.
I'm pretty sure he'd be okay if I had you too.
He's also, a robe.
He's also not always around.
Neither am I.
Hank.
I basically abandoned you for all that time you were gone.
You were keeping Datez off my back.
Van Sterling was keeping Tortez off your back.
You know where I ran?
I could have looked. I have eyes.
Do you think you were the only one with those feelings?
He suddenly looks like intense, just like, oh god, do other people have crushes on you?
I meant me towards you, you idiot.
In himbo.
Huh?
You think I didn't have feelings for you?
No.
Thought you just saw me as a friend.
He has this expression like shift rapidly between what? Wait. No. Yes? No. Maybe? Just this wider range of just shifting emotions as he tries to wrap his head around that. And is clearly struggling.
Tank.
Yeah.
Simon.
Mm.
Oh, come on, I like the name.
It's so gaudy. You never expected that. Well.
Look. We worked together for 6 years. I've been friends with Razor longer than I've known you. I've never said I love him. But I've said that to you. And you were idiot enough to not tell me you felt the same.
I said I love you too. I just didn't realize it was that kind of love. I thought it was the... We never really said it in Elvish. You usually just say it in Common. Because Elvish has multiple kinds of words for friendship. Friendship. Each time he says it, he's saying a different word for it. One meaning familial bond, one meaning bond between friends, and one that is more romantic and one that is more intimate.
Well, I think that kind of goes with the having nicknames and
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't think Maxim would mind.
I probably should talk to him at some point then. Maybe. I don't wanna. But I should.
Look, he kind of knows about the collective stuff, and he's still around. He's not a normal kind of robe.
What if he becomes one again? What if something happens and he's not one of us?
He's here, ain't he?
That doesn't make him one of us. Your friends are here. They're here because of you. But sometimes I feel like Aurelius is expecting soldiers that he can command and lead into a great and glorious battle against unending foes. No, thank you. I would rather hold my head underwater until I passed out. That sounds like the worst thing, and it doesn't help that people are already on edge because of the talk of war. And Serenity, she's pushy.
Means well.
Meaning well does not mean she's not pushy.
Yeah.
I appreciate her,
means well.
but that does not mean that her meaning well doesn't stop her from being pushy.
Yeah, she's the reason why I'm here in front of you talking now, so I kinda gotta thank her for that.
I don't. I mean, I should, but I don't have to thank her. I'll think about it. I'm still processing.
Would you prefer I leave you to your thoughts?
Kinda. Is that
You'll
bad?
give a nod going, once you're done thinking, you know where to find me, and she'll walk out of the room.
Serenity just leans over the banister. You two lovebirds done yet?
Nope, they're in a room far away.
Fidget ran after him.
Yeah, he was schmoovin' to be far away, so you couldn't do something like that.
He knew.
Yeah, you kind of present
Lean over
yourself
the
as
banister.
being nosy like that.
No shit! If I wasn't nosy, she wouldn't be in either of her relationships!
I mean,
But yeah, Fidget will leave Tank to his thoughts and kind of... once she gets a few feet away, she'll kind of lean against the wall going, holy crap.
Do I see her from my little viewpoint?
not until
She
she's
would've gotten
Try to
collected.
insert
She would've
yourself,
gotten
damn
close
it.
enough. She would have gotten close.
Aurelius, I don't know how many times you've done it, so sit the fuck down!
He does sit down. He just sits down when he's, told to sit down.
But yeah, Fidget will have made her way almost back to the room, and then kind of like leaned against the wall and just had this wide-eyed holy crap look on her face. So Serenity would see her.
Oh? So it went well, I take it?
You have no idea how long I've had feelings for that guy.
I suspected. You're about as easy to read as Aurelius, and about as stubborn as him, too.
Yeah, you'd think he and I were related.
I'm surprised you aren't.
Artemis,
Yes.
in a medical room, one of the collective folks will put some bandages on you and help you feel better by giving you 17 points of health using a healer's kit.
Cool. Yeah, she still looks very numb.
Of course.
Because even as she's physically starting to look better,
Sorry, I was
Nope. You're good.
because even as she's physically starting to look better, she is remembering a lot of things.
So, what is going on though? Like, have we
You're in a medical.
continued going on?
You're in a medical room, and Artie is getting healed. Well, at the very least, she's
Okay.
getting bandaged up, so she'll be better.
Okay. Aurelius is kind of standing by the door, watching, just kind of like pensive brooding activated.
Hmm.
And he there's this kind of helpless look of he wants to do something, but he doesn't know what to do. Eventually he leaves and he's looking for a relatively lightweight shield, a blanket, some food, just anything practical that he can do, because he knows he's not good at the emotional side of things.
Roll an investigation check.
Don, remind me of something to ask of you that's simple after this, like this scene.
Okay. You take your time. This isn't a place that's massive, and thankfully everything seems to be laid out kind of in a just so kind of way, where rather than have everything be in one place, things are bundled together where you can see that there's some shields, spears, swords, and stuff in one area, and then there's in another area, so that people can run over and grab them as needed. When you find a place that has an extra shield, you pick it up, and like a person kind of looks at you, just like kind of looks you over, just like, rough day, hon. Don't worry.
He doesn't.
I'll make sure that the shield gets replaced for someone else if they need it. Go on. You look like you could use it.
He raises a brow because he knows it's not for him.
They don't.
But he doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of nods and goes back. And
Artemis is
As he
just
appro-
sitting there, staring blankly at a wall, just kind of. She's just kind of absent-mindedly touching around the area where she was stabbed with a poison dagger.
yeah, he goes to walk in but hesitates. He figures now is not the time to worry her with a shield that she does not know how to use. So instead he places it outside of the door, out of sight, out of mind. Walks in with the other stuff. Places the food in front of her with some water as well. And he doesn't touch her, he simply offers the blanket.
She'll slowly take the blanket and pull it around her shoulders and kind of huddle and back her way into the wall next to the bed, pulling her knees up to her chest.
He won't say anything, he'll just sit down nearby next to her. His legs aren't like curled up like hers is. It's kind of a one leg out, one leg up kind of thing. But he too is just kind of staring out blankly.
After a moment, several moments actually, probably like close to like 10, 15 minutes, the rest of your group will get a message to come to the infirmary. And the two of you will hear a... Do either of you look?
Aurelius does.
Ben Sterling is in the doorframe, just kind of stands there for a moment, gives you a nod, and makes a motion as though asking permission to enter.
Aurelius looks at Artemis.
Mm-hmm.
Artemis will give a small nod.
I have a feeling Fidget and Serenity wouldn't be too far behind.
Not too far, no. But he goes and he sits down across from the two of you. I'm sorry.
She just gives him a
Aurelius
blank
raises
stare.
a brow.
It's a blank stare, raising a brow. Final days, usually the most hectic, but not like this usually. We're probably gonna have a problem based off what I've heard, but I'll wait. I just wanted to be clear that I am sorry for what has come upon you.
Artemis will just reach into her pocket, pull out the medals, hold them out in a fist, and drop them at his feet.
Any of these, anything that Aurelius has not already looked at?
It's the ones you've looked at.
Okay, cool.
He doesn't look immediately. After a moment, though, he will look down. His face curls lightly into a grimace before he looks back at you and his face schools itself again. A very small slip, but with how composed he's been otherwise, meaningful. Shoulda known.
You recognize them?
Rubbed elbows with them, generally before putting my knife in their throat. I don't look kindly on those of Denziel who follow them. You always know the devout, don't you?
She'll give a nod.
There's the devout and then the zealots.
The devout are effectively zealots. The zealots, oh, they're worse. Both you can recognize. Usually. And it usually looks like he's pained when he says that. He kind of leans back and puts a hand over like the back of an arm and kind of grips it for a second, right as the rest of the group files in, and he motions for everyone to take a seat. Kind of motioning for everyone to take a seat with distance. Give everyone a little bit of breathing room, particularly Artemis, who he's trying to make sure doesn't get crowded by everyone suddenly wandering in.
Fidget will make sure that she gives Artie distance.
As more people come into the room, she gets more visibly tense.
Aurelius looks at Serenity, just kind of silently asking if she wants to tag in.
She'll nod.
As the two of you swap, I need to grab names. Not you. You.
Aurelius is just kind of pacing around in thought. It seems like despite him sitting still, he still can't bring himself to
Sit still.
stop. Yeah.
Serenity will put her hand like near Artemis's like.
She will shift away.
Oh. She looks at her. Keep my distance.
Artemis huddles back further against the wall and pulls the blanket closer around herself.
Okay.
As you do that, you hear Darren very softly start to sing just a little song, little something to try and help calm your nerves. After about a minute or so, no one's really making a lot of other noise otherwise, but Razor makes a very distinct shh.
Fidget
Serenity
will
will
look
look
up at
up.
him, surprised. No one was talking.
Hmm?
No one was talking.
Kind of like squints for a moment, then kind of shakes his head. Artemis, you hear Darren, just like you can almost feel Darren's emotions a little bit, kind of like affronted, and you can almost like feel him like gently like rest himself near you, more of a presence than a physical thing, as you just hear him mutter, "Man, that guy's an asshole. No taste." And you hear Razor again go, "Shh."
What are you?
Again,
doing?
there was nothing.
Artemis will look up and kind of look near Razor's face, looking a little confused.
He's
Well, less confused, more searching.
he's looking like he's keeping focused on the task ahead, but doesn't look like he's looking anywhere specific, at least at this moment.
Serenity looks on edge now because now it's like, what the fuck is he hearing?
Right.
Yeah, Aurelius, if he wasn't already on edge, is far more alert now.
Right. Von Sterling holds up a hand.
In fact, as a fun little thing, I'm gonna just do I haven't done this since basically the first session.
Oh.
A divine sense.
Nice.
You still have that?
Yeah, still has that.
Yeah.
He never lost it. He just doesn't use it.
I don't.
He said he didn't have a smite, so I didn't know what the fuck he still had.
Oh, he didn't say he didn't have
No,
smite. He
he-
doesn't
he-
use it.
He doesn't
have a
use
smite.
his paladin stuff.
Yeah.
I have smite. It's just it's not radiant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You send out the pulse. There is no undead, celestial, or fiendish energy that you can perceive, although you know that there are ways that have blocked you from sensing it before, as with the locket's harness. So you know that's there, or at least you've seen it there. You're pretty sure it's still there. But other than that, you currently, for those three things, you feel relatively at ease. But for other threats, that's on you.
Aurelius just kind of quietly says to himself, "Weird."
And then Sterling holds up his hand.
Ye-
I am reaching out to Iceberg about ending this affair. We're following formalities of ensuring that no one will judge us for clearing your name. Motions to you, Fidget.
Formalities?
The rules. We set up the rules, and we adhere to them to ensure that no one thinks they can just skip out on them, have a free pass, judge you for potentially being someone's favorite. Whether it is or is not true doesn't matter. People's perceptions are a dangerous thing. I'm not here to toy with it any more than you should.
So these 3 days have been a formality?
Yes. To ensure that no one will question that you are one of us and that you are clear of what happened in Cormundum. A good formality, if you will.
There's a moment of slight anger that just ripples across her face before her expression goes blank. Understood, sir.
It is not to belittle you or those who have come here. It is to ensure that others will give you the same respect I give you. Deserved respect. Most here, though, do not believe you were in the wrong. Certainly those who came with me do not believe you were in the wrong.
Is it just Corvin that thinks I'm in the wrong?
It's just Corvin. And it, as far as I can tell, is predominantly D'Artez and his folk who think that. Others think that Tedric shouldn't have been involved, what with his not being one of us. And for such a degree, I do agree with that.
Was this Tedric's favor that he mentioned? Or his little idea?
Tedric wasn't one of us. Normally an initiation to become one of us would be something more... not grand. Something like this would suffice, but even this is not a grand spectacle. This is, well, this is the rules. This is our formality. But what he put his son to do feels like a death sentence rather than an initiation. And we don't issue those, not to our own.
Why are you telling us this about him?
Because I need you to understand that D'Artez is good with honeyed words or ever-present threats. Trust the threats. His words are honey, but they're meant to trap you and drag you down.
A quicksand.
Yes.
Made a rule to not trust anyone who speaks too well, so...
There are people who speak well, who mean well. D'Artez is not one of them. I'm saying this because while others may attack us yet still, and we will defend yet still until we hear back from Iceberg. I wanted to congratulate you, Fidget. You survived.
You've always been collective, sir.
I know.
Thank you, sir.
He nods.
Where's
Hmm.
Where's Crazy?
He leans back and he motions to the door, and Tank opens it, and you just hear this.
Doing something crazy, apparently.
As you see, Crazy is pulling a, like, you know, like those little red wagons? It's a little red wagon with a chest in it. And apparently he pulls it in and just kind of, like, he, like, dramatically falls on his face, goes, stands back up.
Help before you slip a disc out of place?
What's a disc?
Something important.
Not important if I don't know it. And he pulls it's coming in, but it's like slow, and as soon as he
moves over and starts to help him.
It's definitely a thing where the mechanism, where you hear the scraping of the wheels. Clearly, this thing needs to be oiled. That seems to be the main problem with it. Although it is hefty.
When's the last time you've oiled this wagon?
It's not mine. I borrowed it.
Artemis is going to just kind of walk over to Crazy.
Hi.
And kind of
what happened?
curl up against his chest and put her face in his shoulder and just shake.
He holds you and just gently rocks you. I'm so, oh no. Oh no, Artie. Come here, I got you. I got you. There, I got you.
What's in the chest, Crazy?
Oh, motions to Van Sterling, who nods and holds up a key and holds it out to you. Open it.
She'll take the key and walk over to the chest and unlock it.
Opening
and then open it up.
Opening up, it is a new set of dark black clothes, similar to what you currently have, but looking more very little bits of like ornamentation, things of two symbols, one being the symbol of the hammer interspaced with the symbol of a whisper.
Elsa.
Sir?
Pick it up.
She picks up the clothing.
As you pick it up and pull it out, you notice that there's something underneath it.
She'll look.
That's a lot of gold. It is a chest filled with you don't know how much gold.
The best way I can describe it, you know how you make the cross symbol over your chest and say a prayer?
Uh-huh.
That's Serenity.
Yep.
Well, Fidget hasn't said what's in it.
Serenity was leaning over because she helped drag the chest in.
Yeah, when you
like,
pull the clothing out, she can see it. It's not hidden.
Is this for all of us, sir?
Technically speaking, it's for you to do with as you please. It's what D'Artez owed you. For several years of work, unpaid.
And whisper symbol, sir?
That I think you're deserving of.
Do you think you could give context on the whisper symbol?
It means leader. Leader of a group. Whether or not your group agrees that you are a leader, or if you pass that title amongst yourselves, it is not for me to say or decide. But between me and Fidget, as none of you have yet to accept an invitation to fully join our ranks. When speaking to your group, holds up a hand like, let me finish. I didn't hear what you said. You talked over me.
Sorry.
When speaking to your group, I would speak to your whisper. And that is Fidget to me. Now, what did you say?
I am 100% sure I'm not ready for the collective.
You are uncertain?
Just because I went and ran someone through with a sword and ate another person does not mean that I am fit for a gang.
You ate another person?
Did you not hear any of... I'll explain later.
I was not there.
I'll explain later.
He looks like confused. Like, this is not the direction I expected that to go. But
Artemis looks a little overwhelmed and takes Crazy by the hand and starts walking out of the room.
He walks with you.
Request, sir.
For?
If I am to be a whisper, I request that Tank be my shadow.
He looks to Tank. Tank looks flabbergasted, befuddled.
Excuse you?
Beskews you even, yes. Before looking to him with this look that's just like, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Sure, yeah. He nods after a moment. If he accepts it, we'll work out the formalities later. Fair?
Out of character, how much gold is in this chest?
La-da-dee, la-da-doo.
La da da. La da dee, la da doo, la da dam.
King hell. Okay.
You had years of work you were getting shorted on.
That's at least 2.
That's at least 2.
Fidget will, for everybody to know, for Fidget, Serenity, Aurelius, Artemis, and Velinor. They each get 2,000 gold from Fidget.
If you're trying to do that now, Aurelius is going to
It'll be a later thing.
push it back. Yeah.
Aurelius isn't going to take
Okay.
the money from her?
He feels as if you earned it, you deserve it.
Okay. She is offering it to all of the group, though.
Once Artemis is
Yeah.
back in her right mind, she will never say no to money.
Okay, then you... then go
Say
ahead and
like
mark-
Serenity ain't saying no to that.
Yeah, okay, then you two go ahead and put in 2,000 gold.
We'll work
You
out
will
the
make-
formalities with that later. But to
Mhm.
end the session on a good note, for me, as you walk with Crazy away a bit, you see someone running by, and they run as though they're like gonna like run into you, and you see just Crazy just like stop, holds out his hand. The guy isn't fully paying attention, so they run like chest first into Crazy's hand. And Crazy's not a strong person, but they basically get clotheslined by that. Crazy looks down like, oh, 1 second. And he doesn't like reach down to them because he's still helping you. So he like nudges them with his foot, like, hey, get up, making a bad impression here, get up. As the person stumbles and gets up like, sorry, problem. Problem? There's undead outside. And that is where we're going to leave the session.
Oh, lovely.
Oh.
Fun.
Fun.
Yes.
Yeah, right when
It's my
Artemis is
turn on the
taking
fucking
crazy
Xbox.
to Artemis is taking crazy to make a blanket fort.
Oh yeah, no, you still have time to do that. The undead aren't nearly as smart as people, so they're not going to break in easily, but you know, they're out there. So
Oh no, we literally put barriers on the wall. This is just COD zombies. God damn it.
You caught on. It took a bit, but
This
I
is
had
stupid. Can I play something else? This game's dumb.
You don't want to play?
I want
it?
to play Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
Put me in Modern Warfare.
Okay. You want Left 4 Dead? Don't worry, I'll have special zombies for you next week.
No.
Yeah.
No. Put
We
me in
don't
Modern
agree with the
Warfare.
ruling.
At least I'll die staring at something I like.
But yeah, that was today's session. A reprieve of sorts. Yes.
Remember that thing?
Session when I stop recording.
No, other thing. I'm gonna DM it to you. It's fine.
Please. You can't just say thing. Do you know how many things I am as a...
I said to ask you to remind me
least
after
two.
that scene.
Which
So we're
scene?
done.
Yeah. I'll just send it to you. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. As soon as I can find you in my DMs. Where the fuck are you? There you are.
Gone.
This was fun.
Yeah. I stabbed you.
Yes, you did. You sent me down to 2 health.
Oh, yeah.
That man could not hit you for shit when you didn't even disengage. You are the luckiest bitch alive.
He rolled on the dice a 2 and then a 5.
Oh, so he had a +10. Noted.
I didn't say a +10.
Well, you
Well,
didn't, but you said he rolled a 2, and initially you said a 12 doesn't hit 16, so.
No, I said 11.
Okay, so you had... No, wait. Rolled
Alright.
a 13 with a 5, so...
I did my math wrong. I said 11 first, I believe, and then I said 13. So yeah, I was one off with the 13. The 13 was meant to be a 14. Still didn't hit.
I caught your math slipping.
It wouldn't have hit either way. I was correct. But yes, for that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun too.
That was fun.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
too.
Don't worry, Paris. I'll stab you more later.
Please!
Don't worry.
I have fun with Artemis gets injured.
She gets to
Just
relive trauma. It's great.
Like, I know I'm the tank. I know it's gonna mean fuck all. But
no.
please!
Oh no, yeah.
Hit me!
I honestly,
Well-
they would have done more to that if they weren't so hellbent. They thought
Alright.
they could
Well,
get the
that's-
one thing they could get out, but that's for later. We'll figure out more later.
All that said,
Yes.
thank you all for coming out. It was a blast. You can go check out the YouTube channel at YouTube. Just search Uncommon Guru, Cormundum Chaos. You'll find a playlist of all of our sessions so far. Ignore the shoddy audio of the first couple of
Sound like my brother in Christ,
sessions.
you're crunchy.
Let him finish.
That's.
He's fine.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead. I'm just having fun.
I lost train.
You just finished the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, so Uncommon Guru, Cormundum Chaos playlist. Ignore the shoddy audio of the first sessions.
I'm sorry.
It is an interesting progression to see where our characters started to where we are now. I highly recommend going through. Even if you skip a few episodes in, you will see the progression of our characters' arcs. It is fascinating. The other thing is that we stream this every week on Monday your time, and it's on the WhatTeamComp Twitch page, twitch.tv/WhatTeamComp. We are playing every week. It is a blast. It is fun. If you're not there, I'm going to give you a kiss. It'll be a
Is that a
wet,
threat?
sloppy kiss. Yes. When I give you a kiss, it's a fucking threat.
Get away!
I'm Australian. An Australian kiss is worse.
I thought you were gonna say I'm Australian. Everything I say is a threat.
That works too. Yeah, so thank you all for coming out. This has been a blast, and we will see you in the next one.
TTFN, ta-ta for now. Goodbye!
What?